Ladies and gentlemen, in remembrance of our fallen soldiers, veterans, and the brave men and women who have served this country, please rise and remove your hats for this moment of silence.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find others.
Thank you. Please remain standing and join Brooke Boyce in singing our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Good afternoon and welcome inside West Hills Stadium in Langford, British Columbia. The Canadian Junior Football League's Canadian Bowl, the national championship. The Saskatoon Hilltops, the Prairie Football Conference champions, on the road to take on the British Columbia Football Conference champion West Shore Rebels. Thanks so much for joining us here on sportscanada.tv, the BCFC web stream of the Canadian Bowl. It is a pretty decent afternoon here in Langford. We're about 15 minutes away from the legislature and the government of British Columbia in downtown Victoria, and a great crowd on hand to watch what sets up on paper like a fantastic football game. The West Shore Rebels come into this with an 8-1-1 regular season record, the first place team in the BC Conference this year. October the 15th, the BC semifinal, they beat the Vancouver Island Raiders 34-29. A come-from-behind last-second victory drive. Then on October 29th, right here at West Hill Stadium, a 32-21 decisive victory over the Okanagan Sun, giving the Rebels their second BC championship in franchise history. The Saskatoon Hilltops come into this game with an 8-1 record in the regular season, first place in their conference as well. October 23rd, 25-24 win for the Hilltops over the Regina Thunder in the semifinal. And then for the second straight year, Tom Sargent and his club beating the Calgary Colts 43-31 in the PFC championship game on October the 30th. Both of these teams coming off bye weeks, so they should be fresh, they should be rested, and ready to go. These teams have not lost a football game since August. Both teams lost their only game of the season in week number 3. The Hilltops losing to the Colts in week 3, August 28th. The Rebels losing August 6th, week 3 against the Okanagan Sun. Since those two losses, neither one of these football teams has suffered a defeat this season. My color man this afternoon, Les Weiss. And Les, you've been around a lot of Canadian Bowls in your time. What's the feeling? What's the mood? What's going on in the heads of these young men right now?
Well, obviously it's got to be a lot of excitement. I mean, a lot of these kids have worked a long time to get to this level, whether it's Bantam football, senior football, high school, junior. It's a real treat for these kids. They put in a lot of hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, probably lifting a lot of weights to get to this stage, and their heart's got to be pounding right now, and it's something they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
Two very different storylines for these two football clubs coming in. The Hilltops, 18-time Canadian champions, looking for a three-peat here this afternoon. The West Shore Rebels have never won the Canadian Bowl before. These two teams met one other time. It was 2003. The Hilltops squeaked one out, 59-0 over the Rebels in that football game. Rylan Kleider gets set to kick this ball off. The Hilltops will kick to start the football game. The West Shore Rebels will receive. The Hilltops will kick left to right and defend the end zone down to our broadcast left in this first quarter of action. The teams are set, the whistle's blown, and we are underway. The Canadian Bowl from West Hill Stadium in Langford, as the Rebels will start with a fairly average return. Start back inside their own territory, unless this Hilltops franchise is so storied. And we have Ryan Waters down at field level.
Guys down here from field level. It was raining earlier, a little windy down here, but the field conditions are fantastic. The most interesting thing is the size comparison to both teams. For once, a BCFC team looks about the same width as a Prairie team. Guys?
Thanks a lot. That's Ryan Waters down at field level. We'll check in with him as the afternoon goes on. Ashton McKinnon, the all-star quarterback, sets his offense up for their first drive of this Canadian Bowl. They'll start from their own 25, and a quick pass will be a slow start. And Les, one thing that stands out to me is the Rebels need to get a start to get their confidence going in this game.
Well, absolutely. They need to get into a little bit of a rhythm. I mean, obviously what's been their strength this year is handing the ball off to Jamal Lyles. They play that RPO offense, and the quarterback usually keeps the ball and pulls it and runs it himself or gives it to Lyles. And today they tried to throw a quick pass to start and just didn't have any success there.
We'll see if the Rebels do try and maybe throw the ball a little bit to throw off the Hilltops, who would clearly be expecting the run, and that's what happens. And it's a connection and a first down up near the 35-yard line as McKinnon hooks up there with Pinto. And the Rebels get their first down of this game.
Yeah, they just run a little drag underneath. McKinnon hits Pinto on a little drag underneath, and Pinto just tucks the ball and avoids some tacklers, and that's what they need to get out of the gate quickly.
Nathaniel Pinto, the first-year man out of Toronto, former York University Lion. We'll see Jamel Lyles. No, we won't. It'll be Ashton McKinnon, and McKinnon will be stopped for about a 5-yard gain on first down. And that's that misdirection that we see, and you have to respect McKinnon's ability to run the ball.
Yep, that's that RPO, and he just pulls it from Lyles and tucks it and keeps it himself around the right side.
Lyles will be the deep back here, 2nd and 5, as the Hilltops bring 4-man pressure. Delayed handoff and not much room, as Lyles will be stopped up front by the Hilltop defensive line. And that will bring up a punting situation here, as like Tom Schnitzler and Cameron Schnitzler in the mix on that tackle. And the Rebels, last coming into this game in the playoffs, have rushed the ball 74% of their offensive plays. If the Hilltops can shut down the run today, can the Rebels be diverse enough?
Well, you know what? I mean, it's something that doesn't happen right away. You got to work at it. It takes a little while for your old linemen to figure out the D linemen, and that they just can't panic. They just got to keep working at it.
Hicks with a low line driving punt that drops down about the 40-yard line. Taken on the run by Logan Fisher, and he'll be pulled down at about the 45-yard line. And we'll get our first look as a flag comes out late here at the Saskatoon Hilltops offense, led by Jared Andertruck. And this man playing in his 4th Canadian Bowl, an incredible career, 5th-year man out of Centennial from Saskatoon. to have a quarterback that's played in 4 Canadian Bowls. That just doesn't happen in junior football.
No, and you just can't replace that experience. Both him and Logan Fisher are just 2 deadly players that Saskatoon has, and those are the 2 guys right now that Victoria really have to focus in and take them out of the game as quick as they possibly can.
Hilltops will start near midfield on their first drive. Andrew Chuck in the shotgun, Fisher behind him, 4 wide receivers near side of the field, and they will throw a quick pass to Fisher, and he's got good yardage and a first down into Rebel territory right off the bat, and that is something you have to watch out for with Logan Fisher. He can run, but he can catch as well.
You know, Logan Fisher is a north-south runner like nobody in junior football. He is very elusive, but he's tough as nails. He's a tough guy to bring down.
Fisher has 200 yards rushing on 42 carries, 3 touchdowns in the postseason so far for the Hilltops, and it'll be a short gain on first down as Fisher pounds that ball in, and we'll see our first second down of the day for the Hilltops offense.
Yeah, they just tried to run a little off-tackle play, and linebacker for West Shore stepped up nicely and filled the gap. Did a good job.
Second and about 6 from the Rebel 37-yard line. Andrew Chuck in the shotgun. Fisher goes in motion to the top side of the field. Rebels bring 5-man pressure. It's picked up. Time to throw. It's caught by Mike Sam, and he will go towards the end zone, knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Sam Mike, the all-Canadian receiver for the Hilltops, brought down by Gandire on a touchdown-saving tackle.
The Gandhi just tried to step in front of that pass and just misjudged a little bit and went over top of him, and Sam did a great job, and he's a great little receiver, and they really spread that field out, and they really line him up wide, and that's going to be a real challenge for West Shore to stay on top of him.
Sam Mike, the all-Canadian for the Hilltops, sets up first and goal. They'll swing it out to Fisher. He's got the corner, and he is going to score. The Hilltops strike first. What an opening drive for the visitors.
Yeah, they just dumped that ball off to Logan Fisher outside. Nice chop block downfield, and that's one of the things that the Hilltops do really well is their receivers get downfield, and they make some great blocks, and I didn't get the number of them, but they made a nice chop block just to get them outside and just walked into the end zone.
Well, you see the corner get set there, and when Fisher in space with that much room to work to the pylon, it was almost too easy for the Hilltops, and that was a very impressive touchdown drive. They showed the pass, they showed the run, and the Rebels clearly, right off the hop, can see this Hilltops offense is impressive.
Yeah, no, they look very experienced. They just dumped the ball a little here to the right, a little to the left here, and they ran the ball a couple times up inside, and they don't make many mistakes. They've been there for, like you were talking earlier about the experience of that football team. Not only they got a lot of experience from their coaching staff, but a lot of players on that team who've been here before, and they're very methodical. And they sure showed it there.
You talk about experience on the coaching staff, Les. According to the Hilltops website, their coaching staff has 103 combined years of experience working as a staff for the Hilltops, none longer than Tom Sargent, 26th year, 19th as head coach for this football team, 11 Canadian Bowls. Tom Sargent's resume almost really defies belief. There's a high, short kick fielded by Lyles at about his 15. He picks his way up the right sideline, and he'll start the Rebels near the 35-yard line. And one thing that we did see less from this Rebels team a little bit in their 2 games leading up to this championship game against the Raiders, against the Sun, was they got away from the run a little bit. And for me, when you've got a back like Jamel Lyles, who just set the single-season record for rushing in BC, just feed him the ball. He'll start as the deep back here. 1st and 10. McKinnon takes the shotgun snap, looks to throw. He's going to pull it down, breaks a 1 tackle, and he's got himself a short gain as he's hauled down by Garth Nittig, trying to break off the right side.
Getting back to that, Dom, I think the important thing is that the Rebels got to realize that they got to be a little bit patient. Your old linemen are playing against a different guy. It takes a little bit of time to get them figured out, and the worst thing they could do right now at this point is panic. So they got to continue to do what they do best, and that's chip away and give Lyles the ball, and as I say, run that RPO and see if they can make some things happen.
2nd and about 7. This is a big second down for the Rebels here. Hilltops with 4 men on the line of scrimmage. They'll bring that 4-man pressure. McKinnon flushed out of the pocket. He's going to tuck this and run. He's near the first down marker. It's going to be close as he was held down by Benkick, and it will be a first down. And Ashton McKinnon is so elusive.
Yeah, and they got to take advantage of that. You know, as I say, they're keeping a lot of people on Lyles, so it opens up some lanes for him, and he's got to take advantage of it. And like I say, they just got to stay calm and not panic and chip away at Saskatoon here.
1st and 10. Hilltops leads 7-0 about 6 minutes into the first quarter of the Canadian Bowl. McKinnon in the shotgun, Lyles behind him. They'll fake it, and Lyles will McKinnon keeps, and not a lot to look at there as the All-Canadian Blake Herman pulls him down. And the Hilltops defensive line, you can see it, is so disciplined. They're not going to lose their lanes. They're not going to lose their contain because they know that McKinnon loves to try and break the pocket.
Well, I think on that one, Dom, there was a little bit of a breakdown between McKinnon and Lyles, and I think he just pulled the ball and turned a bad play probably into a couple-yard gain. But you know, like I say, we've been saying about their experience all along here, and it's early in this game it's really showing. And Victoria, you know, West Shore's got to just keep doing what they do best, and hopefully they get a break.
Referees timeout here right now. We talked about what's on the line here and the very different approaches for these two teams. The Rebels playing in just their 2nd Canadian Bowl ever, and they've only won their 2nd BC championship this season. It was 2003, the Rebels losing in Chilliwack 59-0 to the Hilltops, in the worst loss in the history of the Canadian Bowl. And that was talked about a lot in the media this week. Tom Sargent saying, I remember that day like it was yesterday. And I think a lot of Rebels fans do too. Big second down here near midfield. McKinnon in the shotgun. Rebels need about 7 yards. Hilltops 4-man pressure. McKinnon time, throws. He's got a man, but it falls incomplete. And that will bring up a punting situation.
Yeah, I don't know who was trying to hit out there, but he was trying a little dig route to Pinto, and he just underthrew the ball a little bit. He's got to set his feet and deliver the ball, and he just underthrew it a little bit there. And right now, West Shore's going into this wind as well too, and it's a fairly stiff wind, so he's got to give it a little more step into it and deliver the ball a little harder there.
Kent Hicks will kick. Almost blocked, but he gets knocked down, and flags come out as this ball bounces into the Hilltop sideline. Hicks got hit by Pickett, who came flying in and almost blocked that punt. And if this is 15 yards, it's going to be a first down for the Rebels.
Yeah, he definitely took his feet out, and it's going to be an automatic first down for West Shore, 15 yards. And that's a little bit of a break they need, especially in the right now going into that wind. It's blowing pretty hard. You know, and here's the other thing is, you would think that the Hilltops would be a little more used to the wind than here in Victoria. I mean, they play in it a lot, and it can be tough going into that wind. So that's the break maybe West Shore needs right now, get through this quarter.
Rebels get a free first down inside Hilltop territory for the first time today. McKinnon in the shotgun, Lyles with him. They'll hand it. No, they won't. McKinnon's going to keep this again. Gets a block off the right side, and he's got about 12 yards near the Hilltop 30-yard line. And he keeps that fake in there for so long. He faked me out.
Yeah, no, that's that RPO again, and everybody's got their eye on Lyles, and they're going to use that to their advantage. And you get something going, at least you can work off that one thing. So hopefully they can build off of that play.
As a team, in 2 postseason games so far, the Rebels have rushed for 658 yards. 7.4 yards per carry they're averaging, and like I said earlier, 74% of their plays have been rushing plays so far in the postseason, as we get a little movement before the snap here, and it will be a false start, I believe. They're trying to sell this against the Hilltops, but I think it's going to move the Rebels back.
It was the Rebels that jumped offside there.
We're going to march them back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. The Hilltops, as a team, have given up 440 total yards and forced 2 turnovers on defense so far in the postseason. And that is one area that certainly, it sounds cliche, but you always think about things that impact football games, special teams, penalties, turnovers. They'll always come up in a big game like this.
Always.
15 yards now separating the Rebels from a first down. McKinnon stands in the shotgun, changing the play here. Lyles behind him. They'll change the play again now. Hilltops looking like they're going to bring base 4-man pressure. They will. McKinnon, quick pass, slings it out to the right side, and that'll be a short gain as the Rebels connect there and move the ball for back to the original line of scrimmage almost as they hook up with Kane Melcher.
Yeah, just a little quick hitch screen to Melcher and turned it up, and didn't get a whole lot of yards, but still they're moving the ball.
They got back 6 yards, so the penalty yardage +1 sets up 2nd and 9. McKinnon in that shotgun where he's been all day. Hilltops bring heavy pressure, and they get the sack. Benkick gets home. They brought the house, and it worked. And it's 2nd and long, or 3rd and long now.
Yep, Benkick just slipped inside on him and inside the tackle there and made the play.
The Hilltops brought heavy pressure there on 2nd and long. And the blitz worked. Benkick gets home, and it will be a punting scenario. That pushed the Rebels out of the realm of a possible field goal, although like you've said, Les, they are in the teeth of that wind right now.
Yeah.
As Hicks is going to kick this one, angles it towards the far sidelines, bounces back towards the 5, scooped up there. Flag flies in for probably no yards, and it was quite the scene here weather-wise in the hours leading up to the game. It got pretty ugly.
Yeah, before the game here, it was raining pretty hard. It's windy and it's cool, and this wind is definitely going to play a part in this game.
So a drive extended by a penalty ends in a punt. No yards against the Rebels. Hilltops will start their 2nd offensive series of the game from their own 10-yard line. Their last drive was systematic the way they moved down the field.
Well, this is a big series for Victoria. Like I say, they get through this quarter, and I think they'll be in good shape at this point and get into that 2nd quarter with the win.
And the entire staff at the City of Langford.
Rebels forced 9 turnovers in the 2 previous playoff games. Coming into this one, Fisher, big hole, left side, breaks a tackle. He's got a first down, and that's one way to get off your own goal line pretty quickly there. Powerful explosion through the hole.
Yeah, Logan Fisher, just a dive play off tackle, and he's tough to bring down. He's spinning, and you got to wrap him up. Otherwise, he's gonna do some damage on you.
Fisher, 631 yards, 8 touchdowns on 106 carries in the regular season. The 4th-year man out of Saskatoon gets another carry here, another big hole. He breaks the tackle, he's through the secondary, he's near midfield. A big gainer, 25-plus yards from Logan Fisher, and he is hitting the line at absolute full speed.
And again, they're not trying to hide anything. They're basically quick dive plays, just man blocking up front. Not a whole lot of
look at the hole through the middle of the line.
Exactly, and he runs hard, and there was no secret that was going to be their game plan, is to run the ball.
The Hilltops anchored up front by Drake Unger, an all-Canadian on the offensive line. Here's a pump fake by Anderchuk. He's got Sam Mike wide open, and he's got a first down pushed out of bounds just about the Rebel 40-yard line. 3 plays, 3 first downs on this drive for the Hilltops. And when I think Prairie football, I think defense, I think rushing, I think nasty weather games. But this Hilltop offense has come out showing a dynamic explosiveness.
Well, they just faked that little swing pass to Fisher, and I think they were trying to run a guy down the seam, down the middle of the field, and Sam was just standing on the sideline wide open. And I think everybody was a little more concerned about the guy who was going deep.
You can see the faithful for the Rebels trying to get their crowd noise fired up here. Gorgeous facilities here at West Hills Stadium in Langford. Fairly new stadium. And it is packed today. It's got to be close to a sellout.
Yeah, they got a great crowd here. Like, I mean, West Shore's been waiting a long time for this game, you know, and the community is supporting it, and they're still lined up at the gate there for people to come in.
Yeah, they are too.
And it looks like it's pretty full.
This is the third home playoff game since 2004 for the Rebels franchise. The previous two coming in the last month. Hand off to Fisher. Tries the left side, cuts back, and another heavy gain. Probably another first down for Logan Fisher, who is just tearing off big gains right now.
Well, they just run in that little search play off the left side, and he's just reading it. And once he gets into the secondary, he's a load to bring down. And Victoria's got to come up with a plan. Their linebackers got to come up and fill those gaps, or the run fits, as we call them, and they got to do a better job of wrapping them up.
Fisher, the fourth-year man out of Saskatoon, no stranger to playing well on this stage. He was the MVP of last year's Canadian Bowl, as they'll go short yardage here on 2nd and 1, and flags come in, but it is, for now, a first down. And now we've got some pushing and shoving after the play here as the fans react to that, as a big gust of wind whips up across the field here. And like you said, Les, I mean, that wind, which for now is at the back of the Hilltops, that is certainly going to play a factor here today.
No question. I don't know where this gust came, but it just blew up. Everybody's papers are flying all over here.
We're scrambling with the tape in the broadcast booth here. Well, it's offside on the Rebels, so the first down will stand, and they'll move that ball a little farther forward. And this Rebel defense has got to find a way to slow the Hilltops, as they are just cruising down the field here on their second drive of this football game. Play action, Andrechuk's going to keep it, slips inside on the left-hand side of the line for a short gain. I know it's early, Les. This is a huge second down right now.
Yeah, and Saskatoon had a little bit of mix-up there between Fisher and Andrechuk right there, and they were still able to pick up 4 yards. But you're right. This is a crucial series right here.
Yeah, it looked like Fisher was expecting that ball, and he never got it. So a big stop here needed for the Rebel defense. 2nd and about 5. Andrechuk will pass, throws it deep, looking, end zone, picked off, intercepted by the Rebel defense. It's Brendan Gandire, and that is exactly what the home team needed.
The Gandire was just sitting back in a cover 3, and they tried to hit that seam route again, and he just outjumped them for the ball. It was a great play by Gandire, and at this point in the game, that was a big play for West Shore right now.
Late in the first quarter, the Hilltops looking like they were about to pound their way into the end zone for their second consecutive touchdown drive, but Brandon Gandire, the first-year man out of, get this, Zimbabwe. Talk about a recruiting trip. He makes a huge play, our first turnover of the Canadian Bowl, and the Rebels will start from their own 20-yard line. And they will hand it off to the All-Canadian Jamel Lyles. And Lyles set a single-season record, 1,604 yards, the all-time mark in the BC Conference for rushing yards in a season, 15 touchdowns, averaged 8.6 yards a carry. The man out of Surrey, formerly of the Manitoba Bisons. He may be, for me, Les, the best back I've seen since Andrew Harris in the BC Conference. 2nd and about 6 here. 4 wide receivers to the near side of the field. That's where the ball comes, but it falls incomplete. They'll rule on we're going to say that was a backwards pass and a fumble, but they'll wave that down as an incomplete pass, looking for Trey Campbell.
Yeah, they were just trying to hit Campbell on a little bubble screen outside, and unfortunately the ball was a little bit behind him, and could have got a lot worse there.
Yeah,
they're lucky and it wasn't going backwards. But getting back to Andrew Harris and Miles, I mean, they are two very similar players, very elusive, very, very smooth football players, with a big future ahead of them.
Jamel Lyles was a CIS Rookie of the Year with the Manitoba Bisons last year, but electing to come and join the West Shore Rebels in this kick from Kent Hicks. Very short. And out of bounds.
West Shores right now is just trying to get out of this quarter. I mean, with that wind, it's causing them.
Wow, look at this field position for the
more
Hilltops here,
problems.
Les.
Yeah.
Hilltops are going to start from the Rebel 38-yard line. And Kent Hicks, like you said, I know he's dealing with that wind, but it almost looked like he just kicked that out of bounds on purpose there. Huge chance here for the Hilltops to add to their lead. Inside the Rebel 40-yard line. Screen pass intercepted. A short screen pass is picked off, and Anderchuk gets blocked, and this is going to go for a touchdown. Byron McKinnon, touchdown Rebels defense.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Wow, that was the break West Shore needed.
Byron McKinnon, a pick six off the defensive line. Unbelievable.
Saskatoon just tried to run a little screen pass, and Byron just read it perfectly and stepped in front of it, picked it off, and followed the convoy of players down the field.
Anderchuk got cleaned up.
45 is celebrating at about the 40-yard line there.
Unbelievable turn of events here with 28 seconds left in the first quarter. And the extra point from Kyle Clark is through, and we are tied at 7-7. Back-to-back interceptions from the fifth-year veteran quarterback, Anderchuk.
Well, you know what? If that didn't get the crowd into it, I don't know what did.
Unbelievable.
What a turning point. You know, and that's the thing in junior football, and these kids, I mean, that will lift their bench. That gives them a little bit of confidence, and that's what they needed right now. Because, I mean, obviously they've been, for the whole 2 weeks now, they've been hearing about Saskatoon, all their national championships, and, I mean, you got to be a little intimidated by it, hey? I mean, this is...
I've always thought when you see the blue and the gold come into the stadium, you might as well put 7 on the board right away.
That's right. And you know what? Good for West Shore. That was a big break, and they'll take it.
Unbelievable. Jared Anderchuk threw 6 interceptions all regular season. He's already thrown 2 in this first quarter. As a short kick goes out of bounds, the Rebels may be trying a little bit of an onside attempt there, but it doesn't pay off, and Hilltops still have good field position.
That was a great play by West Shore. I mean, they're in perfect field position right now. You couldn't ask for a better play than that right now, with that wind in their face.
Now they're trying to decide, did the Rebels maybe touch that ball, but they did not.
I don't think they did, no.
Hilltops will start for their third offensive series of the game, but their last 2 have ended in turnovers.
You know, the funny part was the Hilltops are running the ball successfully, and they all of a sudden they tried to go deep, they tried to screen pass, and Fisher was just ripping them, you know, and Victoria had no answer.
And they'll go back to Fisher now. Left side, big hole, good gain, 8 yards. As Goodson steps up for the stop.
Yeah, it was a good tackle by Goodson to fill that gap and step in there and lay a lick on him. And that's the thing with Fisher. I mean, when you hit him, you got to hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to lay the lumber to him throughout this game. Otherwise, he's just going to continually rip those big gains.
2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground with Fisher. He's got the first down as he hits the midfield stripe. And you hit the nail on the head for me, Les. You're pounding the ball with Fisher. They seemingly couldn't stop him, and then all of a sudden you try a couple of passing plays and throw 2 interceptions and hand some points to the Rebels. And we've got Ryan Waters down at field level.
Boy, that pick 6 guys really energized this crowd here at West Hill State in the 72-yarder. You can start to feel a little bit momentum. The last couple of passes have been intercepted by the Rebels, so a little bit more momentum, and it's a lot louder down here on the field.
Ryan Waters down at field level, and he's right. That's not only what the team needed, I think, West Shore, but what the fans here needed as well.
Well, they got it.
Yeah, did they ever?
They got it. I mean, you're sitting up here watching the game, and you see Saskatoon almost trying to outthink themselves, at point, and got themselves into more trouble.
First down, midfield stripe, first play, second quarter. Hilltop split. They'll now move right to left on your computer screens in this second quarter as That is a quality run stop there by Connor Whitney.
Yeah, nice job by Whitney to close down that gap. He's protecting the outside, and he squeezed the hole and held him down to about a 4-yard gain.
Second down, about 6 yards here. Anderchuk surveys the Rebel defensive front from the shotgun set.
Oop.
Play action. Anderchuk, time, throws. He's got a man. It's Price. He's got it at the 20, over the 10, breaks the tackle, steps out of bounds inside the goal line area. Price with a beautiful catch on a perfect pass from Anderchuk.
Yeah, Jason Price just ran a nice little corner pattern, and Anderchuk just laid it to his outside shoulder in the perfect spot. Nice play, nice catch and run.
Price wide open behind the secondary and sets up his offense with a 1st and goal inside the 10. What about the 9? Anderchuk hands it, bouncing it off. Ewan Chinna, touchdown Hilltops as they go to their second back. Ewan Chinna off the left side, and the Hilltops back up by 6.
Ian and Chinna just took almost like a little counter. They faked it to the right and came back to the left, and a nice block by the Hilltops O-line, and created a little seam in there and stepped up inside. That was a nicely executed play.
A 9-yard touchdown run for Joshua Ewan Chinna, who was a member of the Prairie Conference's rookie all-star team this year, and the first-year man gets a Canadian Bowl touchdown, and the Hilltops back in front, 14-7. And again, for me, I want to see a lot of Jamel Lyles. If I'm a West Shore Rebels fan now, let's pound the rock with our all-Canadian running back here.
Well, that's what got him here, and you're absolutely right. I think that's got to be a big part of the Rebels offense, is to get them the ball however you can get it to them. And as the game rolls along, I'm sure we'll start to see more of them.
Hilltops set to kick off after Ewan Chinna's 9-yard touchdown scramble. And talk about flushing a bad play away. You know, the Hilltops offense throws back-to-back interceptions, a pick 6, tie game, the home crowd is into it. Maybe we're going to falter a little bit. No, we're just going to come out and run a perfect touchdown scoring drive.
Well, that's experience. That's experience in coaching, and the Hilltops have got all of that.
You would probably lose track if you tried to count how many Canadian Bowl games of experience are on this roster, as the short kick will be brought back to the 40-yard line. So many of these players on the Hilltops have played in multiple Canadian Bowls.
You know what? And here's the thing. I mean, the Hilltops graduated, I think, 4 of their 5 receivers last year.
Yep.
All great players, and they step right back in, and they have player after player that's been in the program. They know the system. They understand the coaching, how it works, and they just keep rolling along.
Anderchuk playing in his 4th Canadian Bowl. He has 3 wins. He was a backup the first time in 2012. And like you said, he gets that experience of being a backup in a Canadian Bowl as the Rebels sling it out to Trey Campbell here, and he's going to have to find some room if he wants to gain yardage, and he gets a short gain. But you talk about that program, and it's not, we got to go out and recruit, we got to fill a ton of holes. No, we just got to go into our practice roster and pull up someone who probably has already experienced the Canadian Bowl as a backup. Now they're a starter, and you just keep rolling it over, and that's how you form just an incredible program like the Hilltops have done.
Their 3rd-year player is as good as their 5th-year player. And so when your 5th-year player graduates, that 3rd-year guy steps in, and they don't miss a beat.
Second down for McKinnon and the Rebel offense, trailing by 7 points early in the second quarter. The Rebels do have the wind at their back for this quarter. Will they use the air to take advantage? They'll hand it to Lyles here, and he's got a good gain for a first down as he eventually runs into the arms of Dylan Buckle. And Lyles, the Surrey native, has a first down moving the sticks.
That's what we were talking about, just that quick hitting play, and give him a chance to get upfield with the ball. when they did that on that play.
First down near midfield. Rebels change the play as they hit the line of scrimmage here. 4 wide receivers near side. They'll sling it over here to Campbell. Through his hands. No, he pulled it down on a nice catch. Breaks a tackle. Now he's got rooms and blocks in front of him. And he's knocked out of bounds inside the Hilltop 40-yard line as Trey Campbell, the second back for this Rebel offense, makes an improbable play there as it looked a little shaky from the start.
Well, you know what? They're working on that little bubble screen. They've got some rhythm going now, and they're using the same plays, and they're starting to work off what's working for them.
That's Benkick, who wasn't able to bring down Campbell in the backfield. First down inside the 40 of the Hilltops. Saskatoon will bring 4-man pressure on first down, and it's Herman pulling down Lyles and a couple of All-Canadians going head-to-head there on that play.
You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, hey? And when you get something working for you, then stick with it. And once you get something working, then you can work off of that, you know? You can play action, you can do a lot of different things, and right now West Shore's starting to do that.
Hilltops head coach Tom Sargent was very complimentary of the Rebels offensive line. Talking to the media this week, he said, hey, if I had an O-line like that, I'd run the ball all day too. And here is Campbell again on that quick screen play. He'll be close to the first down. And they are going to give him the first down.
I like it. You know, I mean, as a coach, when you get something working, why go away from it?
Yeah.
And right now, they've got about 2 or 3 things that they're starting to put together.
Trey Campbell is such an elusive back. He is a running back by trade. And get him out in space like that, and you can really make something happen. Here's McKinnon on the keeper. Dances around one tackle, but not going to get through the next as the second wave of the defense coming through there, and Giddings makes a good tackle in space.
Yeah, lucky Giddings got a hold of him there because they probably would have walked into the end zone. That was a nice move. Nice move by McKinnon on that.
McKinnon, you have to watch him on the run. We talked about it. This season had 458 yards rushing. In the regular season, in the playoffs, he's averaged 80 yards a game and 2 rushing touchdowns for this Rebel offense. He's been more dangerous, you could argue, with his legs than with his arm in this postseason. And there you see an errant pass on second down, and it will be a field goal attempt likely here from this Rebel offense.
I think Ian's heard footsteps on that particular play. All he had to do was sit down in the hole, and kind of got alligator arms there. I think he was expecting to get hit. But anyhow, it's a good drive by West Shore.
Well, what will make it a good drive is if they can add 3 points here. And that will be the job of Kyle Clark, who was 7 for 7 in the regular season. This will be an attempt from 36. Plenty of distance, and it's through. And see the effect of the wind on that kick. That would have been good from 50.
Yeah, just almost this little stroke. It's like a chip shot.
Yeah.
In golf with that wind at your back.
So a 36-yard field goal from Kyle Clark makes it 14-10. With 9:38 left to go in the first half of play.
Local 1611 and VGI Gutters. Thank you to our sponsors.
And the Hilltops will elect to take the ball at their own 35-yard line instead of return the kick. So there they will start on their 5th offensive series of the game. They have 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So no matter what has happened, every time the Hilltops have gone on offense, something major has taken place.
Second down, Hilltops.
Fisher, decent gain on first down. Actually a very good gain. They mark him off for about 6 yards. As the Hilltops make a couple of substitutions here, bring on a 5th wide receiver as they face a second down. Jared Anderchuk in his final junior football game, no matter what happens here today, leading this Hilltop offense to the line. They'll pass. It's Fisher out of the backfield. He's chopped down, but he's got enough for the first down.
Gandry. Nice job by Gandry coming up and make the tackle. Fisher just released out of the backfield and hit him on a little out pattern. Gandry came up and made a good hard tackle on the play.
Logan Fisher is the Hilltops team leading receiver in the postseason. 119 receiving yards in the 2 postseason games coming in. And obviously wouldn't think that about a team with an all-Canadian receiver in Sam Mike. We're going to run a little underneath handoff here on a reverse play, and that's a good 20-yard gain. Breaking out of the backfield, Adam Mackert.
Yeah, they ran the little jet sweep and kind of spread the Rebels out, and then got him moving east-west, and he cut it back for that was a nice looking play. Well executed.
First down inside the Rebel 45. Nearing the midpoint of the second quarter. Hilltops trying to add to a 4-point lead. Anderchuk stuffs it in the gut of Fisher. Grinding through that line. Look at his legs keep pounding. He might not have found a big hole there, but he did find 9 yards.
Yeah, Saskatoon faked that little jet sweep where they were just successful to play before, and then they hand it back off to Fisher. That's the thing about Logan Fisher is he may not be the biggest or the fastest, but I'll tell you, he is so hard to bring down. He is what every coach wants in a running back, eh? They want that intensity and your feet keep moving, and he's all of that.
Fisher had 209 all-purpose yards in last year's Canadian Bowl, was named the MVP of that football game. His short gain on second down. He doesn't have enough, but there are flags down on the field. As Gabriel out of the Rebels defense came up and made a tackle. We'll see what the flag is here because the Rebels did stop that play short of the first down.
Oh.
Trying to figure out where this penalty is going to be marked off here.
I think it's West Shore was.
Yeah, you're right. Kent Hicks was offside.
Yeah.
The all-star defensive lineman, the only all-star on this Rebels defense. It's all about the offense. Everyone talks about West Shore's offense, but
well, you know what? West Shore's defense, it was kind of a learning process for them this year in Coach Beattie, and he did a great job, but that certainly wasn't their strength, their defense this year.
Anderchuk will throw on first down. Looking for Sam Mike, but that's going to flutter out of bounds. And you can see how tough it is to throw into that wind.
Yeah, he just put a little too much air under it, and Sam just tried to fake a little post inside and then break it off back to the corner. And that wind just got a hold of the ball and carried it out of bounds.
So it'll be second down, and from this spot right here, it'd be a 37-yard field goal. And for James Voss, that would be a tough task into the teeth of this breeze. Anderchuk all alone in the backfield, but he's going to keep this QB keeper, a design play, and he scampers through the secondary, hurdles a tackler, and he's brought down inside the 10-yard line as Anderchuk on a design QB keeper, I think caught the Rebels a little off guard there.
That was a really interesting play. He didn't fake throwing the ball. All he did was look to his right or to his left and just tapped the ball and went right up the middle of the field. And
that turn of the head was enough to throw off the Rebel defense, apparently.
Yeah, he just looked him off.
Yeah. Inside the 10-yard line, first and goal. They'll do that jet sweep play again, cutting it up towards the end zone. The ball comes out. It's loose. Who's got it? It's down in the end zone. A scrum ensues. It's a free-for-all, and it's Rebel football. Another turnover by the Hilltops. Adam Mackert had a touchdown, and he got the ball popped out at the last second, and the Rebels come away with it.
Yeah, Devin Bell jumped on the ball. I couldn't see who made the hit, but
see, Mackert's got an open lane to the end zone here. Gets a hit from Macumbo, and the ball pops out.
That's got to be their, third turnover?
Third turnover of the game for the Hilltops. 2 interceptions and a fumble, and the second time they've turned the ball over in the West Shore end zone.
Turnovers, every team's worst nightmare. Every coach has preached, don't turn the ball over. Don't put the ball on the ground.
Well, and especially in your opponent's end zone. You're literally taking points off your team's side of the scoreboard. And the Rebels will take over at their own 20-yard line after recovering the fumble in the end zone. Lyles, right side, short gain. And, you know, you talk about Uslane McCumbo for the Rebel defense. And we've got Ryan Waters down at field level.
Guys, usually from 7 yards out, Hilltop fans would see Logan Fisher, but 2 plays early, he went off, looked a little sore. We haven't seen if he's come back on the field yet, but that's something to keep an eye on.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. That is a great point, and maybe that a factor there. You know, you don't have your veteran, your go-to bell cow back on the field in a goal line situation. You hand it off to someone you're not used to, and Mackert drops the ball. Here's a huge defensive play. Tackled way back. Tom Schnitzler with the sack on McKinnon, and this will be a punting situation.
So they got pressure on him right away. I don't know, but Schnitzler got in.
Herman and Schnitzler combined there.
Yeah, they got in there very quick. It was almost could have been called holding on Schnitzler on their West Shore's right tackle, and he just snuck by and got pressure on him right away. It was a good stand by the Hilltops right now.
As I was saying, though, about McCumbo, who threw the hit on the Mackert fumble there that saved probably a touchdown and caused that turnover. He was the player of the game, defensive player of the game in the BC finals. Hicks is going to take a safety here. And just another one of these guys you see stepping up in the big games. And that's something I think that Shane Beatty's talked about, is his defense is getting better. They're better now than they were in week 5 and week 6, even in week 8.
Yeah, and there's no question about it. McCumbo especially, you know, I don't think was their strongest DB at the start of the year, middle of the year, but when the playoffs rolled around, he's had a great playoff. I know against the Okanagan Sun, I think he had 2 or 3 picks. He was a real thorn in their side, and on that play, on the fumble, he made the tackle on the play, and that was a big play. I mean, it could have been right now the West Shore is down the touchdown basically, and I think came out of that pretty unscathed.
They do take the safety, so it's 16-10 now for the Hilltops, and Saskatoon will take the ball at their own 35-yard line here, and still no Logan Fisher in the backfield for Saskatoon, as is Ewan Chinna, and he breaks a tackle and has a short gain. And Les, that's a huge storyline because Logan Fisher, Canadian Bowl MVP last year, he's pivotal in this Hilltop offense.
Well, I think he's just coming back out in the field right now, but we don't know if he's a little banged up, but that Ewan Chinna kid's a pretty good replacement.
Like I said, was on the rookie all-star team in the Prairie Conference this year.
And he's not a big guy.
No.
I was seeing him before the game. He's probably about $160, but he runs hard.
They don't name a rookie all-star team in the BC Conference, but they do in the Prairies, and Ewan Chinna was on it. Second down, Fisher's back on the field, and they're going to sling it to him over the middle, and he's got a first down. Look at him run over McCumbo, and there you see the difference. McCumbo hit Mackert on that goal line play, knocked the ball out. Fisher says, "Get off me."
Well, it was obviously Fisher. There's no problem with Fisher. Just ran a seam pattern down the middle, faked outside, came back inside. It's almost like a dig route. And he ran across the middle. And
beautiful pattern for a running back.
Well, it was a great pattern and also a great catch. Like that ball, that wasn't an easy catch.
Look at the stiff arm on McCumbo as Rebel defenders being dispatched with ease by Logan Fisher, who looks like a man amongst boys right now as we hit the 3-minute warning. Hilltops lead 16-10. The Rebels offense coming off of a pick 6 by Byron McKinnon on an attempted screen pass that he took back 50-plus yards to the house for a touchdown. And if not for 3 turnovers by the Hilltops, 2 of them in the West Shore end zone, we could be looking at a wildly different scoreline right now. 1st and 10, just inside the Rebel 50-yard line. Anderchuk will pass. Time, throws, left side, and it's caught! What a catch by Sam Mike. No, they're going to wave it off. They'll say he was out of bounds. Right through the hands of Gandire, into the hands of Mike, but he was out of bounds.
You know what? They keep trying to pick on Gandire, but I'll tell you what. I am so impressed with this kid because I know that.
Ooh, that looked like a catch to me.
Yeah, that Mike.
I don't know if it's possible to get another look at that replay, but unless he was juggling the ball at the end of it. Again. It looked like close to a catch there from Sam Mike, but they will rule no catch, and it'll be 2nd and 10. If you look here, it looks like his knee comes down.
Oh.
And that looked like a catch, but it was incomplete. And now the throw on second down is incomplete, as well as Macumbo throws a heavy hit here on Sawatsky.
Again, Sawatsky just ran down the middle in Macumbo's zone, and he heard footsteps as well.
For sure.
He has had just a great game, Macumbo.
He's flying around out there.
Well, you know what? You get a safety that likes to lay the lumber on. I'll tell you what, your head's on a swivel. And he heard him coming. Sawatsky heard him coming there.
So a big play by Macumbo in the secondary and a potentially missed call by the officials. Now a high snap goes over the head, and the ball is loose. And the Rebels are going to take over deep inside Hilltop territory as that long snap flew high over the head of the punter, Vesey.
You know what? West Shore has been looking for some breaks, and they've been getting them. And it's unlike Saskatoon to make these type of mistakes. And otherwise, I think this game would be pretty much in the hand of Saskatoon right now. And
we'd be looking at a way different scenario.
We would be.
First down at the 36-yard line of the Hilltops after the long snap sails over the head of Des Vesey. The Rebels were offside on this play, so it won't matter as the pass falls incomplete anyways, and they'll likely back up the offense here. But you're so right, Les, that this could not be more unlike the Hilltops, because that's one thing that you can count on from this team. They're going to be really well coached, and they're not going to make mistakes that hurt themselves. They have today so far.
Well, you know what, West Shore, I mean, yeah, they've made mistakes, but West Shore's forced some of those errors, you know, and they've got them second guessing right now a little bit themselves. I mean, obviously, Saskatoon put a licking on the Okanagan Sun and probably came in here figuring that, you know, might be a cakewalk, and they're figuring out that this West Shore team is well coached and got a lot of good athletes on it as well.
Second and the full 10 the Rebels need here. 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Swing pass, Lyles makes a good catch, and Blake Herman is going to end this play way back. As you see the skill of the All-Canadian Blake Herman, who has been a standout on this Hilltop D-line for the last 4 years.
When you have a great player like Jamal Lyles, I mean, you're going to pay a little extra special attention to him. And Saskatoon's been in his hip pocket this whole game. And that's the guy they're focusing on, keying on. And so far they've done a pretty good job on Lyles.
It's actually quite incredible, really, that the score is the way it is. Only a 6-point lead for the Hilltops, considering how they have negated Jamal Lyles in this first half. Kent Hicks with an angled punt that's going to be very well done. That's going to skip out of bounds inside or close to the 10-yard line.
That was almost like a pooch kick.
Yeah.
You know, like he just pooched it. I mean, he's got a 20-mile-an-hour, 25-mile-an-hour wind behind him, and it was nicely placed by Hicks.
Don't forget about those 50-50.
They'll mark it inside the 10-yard line. Not very often you see, as you see Kent Hicks on your screen there, not very often you'll see a 280-plus pound D lineman running as a punter.
You know, the other night at the banquet, Hicks gave the prayer, and I've seen him on a few videos, and he's a very well-spoken young man, and I was quite impressed with him. He's a great player, too.
First year in the CJFL for him out of Manitoba, former Bison. From Abbotsford is Kent Hicks. Had 5.5 sacks in the regular season, and him and the rest of his D-line mates do a nice job here on first down, bottling up Logan Fisher.
You know, these defenses are starting to figure each other out a little bit, and those plays that were those little search plays and little off tackle, those RPOs, just aren't working for him like they were earlier. And I think Victoria is hopefully, or West Shore, I keep saying Victoria, it should be West Shore, and I'll be shot for that, but are doing a pretty good job.
Second down. Rebels defense gets home. It's a sack. Is it a safety? I don't think so. It'll be right on the goal line. And Anderchuk with nowhere to go.
We're just talking about Hicks, and every coach preaches contain. and Hicks could have bit inside, and he just waited, was just patient and waited, and the defensive backs did a great job and forced Andrechuk to pull the ball down. And
James Bradley got home first, and Hicks was right there beside him. This drive that started on their own 10-yard line for Saskatoon is likely going to end with 2 points going up on the board here for the Rebels on a safety.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Especially into this wind, you'd be crazy to kick the ball out. And, well, Vesey's going to go for a bit of a run here, and then we'll take a knee. So the 2 points that the Rebels gave up not long ago, given back, and it's a 4-point Hilltop lead with 1:05 left to go in the first half. Hilltops trying to complete the three-peat. They are the back-to-back Canadian Bowl champions, but even more than that, it goes back so much more than that. The Hilltops have won 5 of the last 6 Canadian Bowls. They've won 9 of the last 15. Unprecedented dominance from this franchise in the CJFL.
Well, you know what? I mean, the coaches do a great job, but there's a lot of people obviously in that organization behind the scenes that make it such a great organization. You know, last year I was fortunate enough to go to the Canadian Bowl in Saskatoon, and they just renovated the old Gordie Howe Bowl, and it's called the Saskatoon Minor Football Field. And boy, my hat's off to the whole community of Saskatoon for putting that facility together. It's
Rebels alumni could meet at the pond by the food truck for a photo.
It is
got an announcement here going here, but yeah, no, going back to their organization, it's I don't know how long you old the organization, but it's
1947.
47, and they got to be proud of their whole organization.
Squib kick here, and one of the upbacks is going to have a very short return, and the Rebels will take over at their 45-yard line. But we've seen, because of the wind, some very different kicking play here today.
Yeah, it's you know what, it's funny how you try and predict what the wind's going to do when you do the coin toss.
Yeah.
And do you defer to the second half? Is the wind going to die? You know, and
the Rebels did take the wind against the Okanagan Sun 2 weeks ago in the fourth quarter, and it certainly seemed to pay off then. McKinnon will fake a pass. He's going to keep this. Breaks a tackle. Still got a lot of tough sledding in front of him, and he's going to be pulled down by Jared Giddings for a short gain. And
that must be a new play that everybody's running, where they kind of, it's almost like look off the opponent and just try and take the ball and run up the middle. It wasn't quite as successful as Andrechuk's, but it still gives Saskatoon a bunch.
You can see leaking out of the backfield goes Lyles, and they try and get everyone to follow him. And
yeah.
Hilltops are so disciplined, they're not going to be too fooled by that. 2nd and about 7 here facing the Rebel offense. They change the play. Everyone relaying the new play call. And now a flag comes out. I think they'll get them for delay of game here, I believe. And this is an interesting point. In the Prairie Football Conference, they play with clocks, the down timer clocks that are visible. They don't have those in the BC Football Conference. And, you know, Ashton McKinnon is the quarterback. He has no idea if he's got 5 seconds, 1 second to snap that ball off. And I believe it's a delay of game penalty here.
Yeah, and usually I think in the BCFC they probably give them a little bit of wiggle room because there is no play
It's
clocks.
a very inexact science.
You know, it didn't seem like he was that long.
It didn't seem longer than any other play, right?
No.
Well, it's a time count violation. And it's going to bring up 3rd down. And the Rebel bench is hot about this. You can see J.C. Boyce over there trying to get some kind of an explanation.
Yeah, and they're going to call a timeout here and discuss this. I think at this point in the game, I mean, at this point of the time, they're going to...
Well, was that a loss of down penalty as well?
Obviously.
Yeah, because that was 2nd down. And
yeah.
Now they're going to take a timeout and talk this over. So the Rebels not only lose 5 yards, they lose the down there, and now they'll talk it over, and they're going to punt the ball away here.
Yeah. At this point in the game is a smart thing, okay? let's punt the ball, let's get out of this half, and we're in pretty good shape.
Well, if the Rebels can go to the locker room with a 4-point deficit, that has to be considered a massively successful first 30 minutes of football.
That was, on their part, they did a lot of very, very good things. I mean, Saskatoon, on the other hand, is going to go in the dressing room, and I'm sure their guys are going to hear about it. I mean, we did not play a good first half by our standards, and I think that the coaches will try and make the adjustments. And right now, if Saskatoon can stop turning the ball over or putting the ball on the ground, they'll probably come out in the second half and be a little better team.
For the first time really all game, rain is starting to fall here at West Hill Stadium in Langford. As Kent Hicks gets a high boot off here. Drops down in the hands of Turple, and he'll have a short return just outside the 35-yard line. And to add already to the wind, now we have some rain coming down here.
Yeah, I think they were saying that the rain would come and go all day. Previous to the start of the game, it was coming down pretty hard. Good old-fashioned BC weather, hey, or coastal weather.
Wouldn't be a Canadian Bowl on the West Coast without a bit of rain, would it?
No. Well, on this field, it's not a problem.
No, the field will be no factor here. It's obviously artificial turf. You and I were joking before the game. I said, thank goodness we're not in Nanaimo at Caledonia Park. It would be a mud pit right now as Fisher gets a good gain. And how do the Hilltops approach this? 22 seconds left in the half. Would you try and maybe get some points here, or do you say let's get in the locker room?
Nope. I'm going
pushing the pedal.
I'm not going to lay off at all. I mean, 120.
So it'll be 2nd and 8, or 2nd and 2, excuse me, as Fisher got 8 yards on first down. They'll hand it to Fisher again, and he's got a couple of yards to the 50-yard line.
First down, Hilltops.
So the Hilltops will move the ball, but they're going to be happy to get this game into halftime here because the clock is going to run down. And that'll do it for the first half. 16-12. The scoreline here as the Hilltops uncharacteristically turn the ball over 3 times in the first 30 minutes of play, and that allows the Rebels to stay close. We've got Ryan Waters down at field level with a guest.
Down here with head coach of the Hilltops, Tom Sargent. Is that what you wanted to see from your club in the first half?
Oh, not a chance, no. Can't wait to get in there and let them know what I'm thinking. But at the end of the day, West Shore's playing with a lot of energy. We're just hurting ourselves right now. We got a lot of turnovers that are uncharacteristic, but, you know, it's what it is right now. So good thing is we got another 30 minutes.
What kind of adjustments do you need to make?
We're not going to make any adjustments. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We just got to be stronger and better on the football. If we can protect the football, we're going to get a lot of points in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, guys.
Ryan Waters in conversation with Tom Sargent, the head coach of the Saskatoon Hilltops, down at field level. And you heard him say there, you know, I'm not going to try and change anything. We need to keep attacking in the same sort of game plan, but we need to stop making so many mistakes. And I think that is a pretty accurate assessment of the first 30 minutes of this football game from the Hilltops' legendary head coach, Tom Sargent. So 16-12, the scoreline in this game. And 3 turnovers, to me, Les, that's what stands out. From that first half, the pick 6 for the touchdown, that was the only offense, or the only score from the Rebels, the only major score. That's the storyline for me, is those turnovers.
Well, it was hard for us to hear up here because we were having a little malfunction, and I don't know if everybody can hear us right now, but exactly what we talked about, and I knew Sargent would say that. He said we just got to stop turning the ball over, and we're in good shape. And in the other locker room, West Shore's got to continue to keep their offense moving, keep their offense on the field, and I think it'll be fine. And let's hope for a great finish in the second half of this football game.
The Rebels have been known as a second half team so far in this season, and one thing I know about well-coached football teams like the Hilltops are, they're going to be ready to go in the second half as well. They're going to make sure that whatever they saw from the Rebels that maybe they weren't ready for, they're going to be ready for it in the second half, and they're going to be pretty well focused on that as well. And you've seen this from all of your years being involved with the Okanagan Sun, too. It was the same with the Sun. No matter what happened in the first half, you had to wait till that second half to really see how the game was going to evolve. And I think that speaks to the great level of coaching that we see with those types of teams. And the same thing for the Hilltops here. They're so well coached, they will come out, I think, as a different team in the second half.
Well, like I said earlier, I don't think as far as they'll make a few adjustments. I think their biggest adjustment right now is to get them in there and calm them down and refocus and say, you know what, guys, we knew this was going to be a tough game, and obviously they thought it might be a little maybe easier challenge than they thought, and I think took a few things for granted. And I think you'll see, like you say, I think that the Hilltops, if I'm their coaches right now, I'm not changing a whole bunch of stuff, because everything they were doing well. And again, on the other side, they got to keep moving the ball on the ground and get Lyle somehow more involved in the game.
The Hilltops, since 2001, are 7-0 on the road in Canadian Bowls. That's really quite incredible when you think about the amount of work and travel that has to go in to going on the road for a Canadian Bowl. And I think the Prairies have an advantage in that. I think that they're a little more used to the extended travel than the
Right.
BC teams are. But to be 7-0 in the last 15 years on the road in Canadian Bowls, that number really jumped off the page at me.
Well, I think it jumps off the page at everybody in the CJFL. Everybody wants to knock them off their perch, and they're a hard-working bunch. They're, like I said earlier, their whole organization's a hard-working crew, and a lot can be learned from them. I know up in the Okanagan, we've tried to emulate them, and I know a lot of teams have tried to emulate us in our conference. And but at the end of the day, I think we're in for a good second half. And as we're talking, I'm just looking out and seeing the.
We got a minor football game going on.
Well, we got a minor football game here. We got a rainbow that's just absolutely gorgeous outside right now. Yeah.
We've seen
beautiful setting.
It is a gorgeous setting out here in Langford. Got a little West Coast flavor with the rain and wind for this football game, and a couple of minor football teams going to battle here at halftime in front of a pretty much sellout crowd at West Hill Stadium in Langford. We will take a short break here on the broadcast. We'll be back prior to the second half kickoff. We've got some numbers, some first half stats to pass along your way, and we'll also hear hopefully from Ryan Waters, who is trying, if he can, to get some thoughts and feelings on that first half from the coaching staff of the West Shore Rebels as well. So we will take a short break here. We'll be back with second half kickoff in about 14 minutes. The Hilltops lead 16-12 through 30 minutes of the Canadian Bowl here in Langford.
off over here? Did she?
I know I've had a few marriages that turned over.
Welcome back inside West Hill Stadium in Langford, about 15 minutes outside of downtown Victoria. The CJFL Canadian Bowl, the Saskatoon Hilltops 16, the West Shore Rebels 12. Through the first half of this football game, my name is Dominic Abassi, Les Weiss, my color man, Ryan Waters down at field level, and turnovers really the story of the first half in this football game. 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 and a fumble. And 2 of the turnovers, one of the interceptions and the fumble coming in the West Shore end zone by the Hilltops. Uncharacteristic is what head coach Tom Sargent called it. And I would agree with him for sure. Not what we would expect from this storied franchise, but turnovers keeping this game probably a lot closer than it should be. Some stats from this first half, and one of them here that really stands out to me. Jamel Lyles, all-Canadian running back, 1,600 yards in the regular season, 359 yards in the postseason, has 16 yards rushing. Jamel Lyles, 16 yards rushing so far in this football game as Ryan Kleiner kicks one high in the air. Flag does come out there as the Rebels will start about their own 40-yard line. We've got Ryan Waters down at field level.
Talked to one of the assistant coaches, Dom, of the Rebels, and he was saying that first impact is so important. Making the tackle on Logan Fisher the minute you touch him is so key. But he does say the defense is keeping them in, and on the offensive side, they got to run the football. Jamel Lyles hasn't had a lot of yards, not a lot of touches. They have to run the football against this Hilltops team to get them field position and then give some room for Ashton McKinnon to throw the football as well. But defensively, again, he says that they're in the game. Defensively, they're staying in the game. But again, it's first contact. They got to make the tackle on the first hit.
Great stuff from Ryan Waters down at field level, and he could not be more right about Jamel Lyles' lack of impact in this game. 6 carries, 16 yards as the Rebels sling it out to their all-Canadian back, and he will be gobbled up here with Herman and company on the scene. And Logan Fisher, yeah, he's been tough to stop in this game. Fisher has 111 yards rushing on just 12 carries in the first half of this football game. McKinnon, 4 of 9 for 28 yards passing. Anderchuk, 6 of 11 for 128 yards, but he does have 2 interceptions on his stat line. Leading receiver for the Hilltops, Sam Mike, 49 yards on 2 catches. And leading receiver for the Rebels is Yitna, as he has 1 catch for 12 yards. McKinnon slings one here, and that is a nice throw and catch play by Yitna, as McKinnon put that on the spot, and it's a first down. And the best pass play of the day from the Rebel offense right there, as they have been stymied on almost all fronts in this football game so far. So a first down up at the 40-yard line for West Shore after the completion from McKinnon to Yitna. McKinnon surveying the Hilltops, who are showing blitz here. Saskatoon all stacked up at the line of scrimmage. They'll drop back, though, bring 4-man pressure. McKinnon throws up the seam, complete, and pulling that down in traffic is Tyvon Blake. He took a hit, but he made the play, and the Rebels have another first down.
Yeah, Tyvon just ran a little seam route and laid it over in the second level. It was a great throw, great catch.
To go up there, you know you're going to get punished. And he stayed with it and pulled it down. 2 first downs off passing plays for the Rebels. Their best 2 passing plays of the game so far. And a first down at the Hilltop 45. Here's Lyles, big hole up the middle. His best run of the day. He's into the secondary. He's grinding down inside the Hilltop 20-yard line. As Jamel Lyles, who had just 16 yards in the first half, has himself a big rip to start the second half.
And just back to basic football, hey? A little RPO, and he just pulled the ball and
look
gave
at
it to
the hole up
Lyles.
the middle here. Christian Kraus is an all-Canadian on that offensive line too. And you see what he can do when he gets a little bit of room. First down, Hilltop 15-yard line. Lyles the deep back. They're going to throw. McKinnon pressured, steps up. He's got a lane to the end zone. He's pulled down just short by Herman. It will be a first down and goal to go. And you could not ask for a better drive to come out of the locker room.
No question. Evs, you know what made that play is Jamal Lyles making a little chop block on the outside and just gave him a little lane up inside and stepped up and turned a nice play into first down there.
First and goal, McKinnon, the keeper, stuffed up here. Oh, great stiff in there from Tom Schnitzler and company on that Hilltop defensive line.
Saskatoon, when they lined up, they're down on all fours, and they just got underneath the pads of West Shore there and just stuffed it up a little bit. There was nowhere else to go.
McKinnon is no small quarterback. 6'7", 250 pounds is listed for Ashton McKinnon. Wow. More like a defensive end. When he was bottled up there, second and goal. Lyles goes in motion. McKinnon will roll out. He's going to try and run for it. Lunges. No indication. What's the call, Ralph? No call. And they're going to say he is down. Looked like maybe he extended that ball to the goal line, but they're going to call this third down. And let's get a look here on the replay. Looked like he wanted to throw that ball.
He had a choice. I had to throw it. Gee, that looked like it was a touchdown to me. He got the ball across the goal line.
Third down on the goal yard line. McKinnon up and over, and it's a touchdown, Rebels. And West Shore, for the first time in this game, find themselves in the lead.
That's that big 6'5" or 6'6" frame just jumped up and reached over the top and extended the ball over the goal line. And they've done that all year, huh? You know, you look at their O-line getting underneath the pads of Saskatoon, just taking them out and giving McKinnon an opportunity to reach over top. And
a 1 yard plunge on third and goal from the 1 yard line. Ashton McKinnon, who has 2 rushing touchdowns already in this playoffs, adds a third. The extra point is good. And the Rebels, for the first time in this game, have a lead, 19-16. And we talked about the Hilltops making adjustments in the locker room at halftime. Whatever the Rebels talked about, that worked.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better opening drive in the second half. Yeah. I mean, they just come down the field and just made it look easy almost.
Started at their own 30. Couple of big pass plays, a run from Lyles, and bang it in over the line. Now,
yeah, their bench has got to be pumped right now. I mean, they're there, and they know they're there, and they know they can play with Saskatoon, and it's a game of confidence, and right now they got a little bit of confidence rolling, and we'll see how their defense matches up right now in this half.
Hicks, low line drive kick angled towards the corner. Fisher has to go quite a ways to get to it. Oh, that's not Fisher. That's not Fisher at all. It's Melnick, and he's going to go all the way. Kickoff return for a touchdown. Josh Iwanchina up the left sidelines, over 100 yards, and an instant answer from the Hilltops.
You know, West Shore came down. They just had a big play, and I think that they overran the play. And obviously, I mean, nobody even touched him. It looked like the guys just didn't stay in their lanes. He beat the first guy and ran back up inside, turned the ball to the outside. Like, he didn't even have to change arms, the ball in the arms. And he has some pretty good wheels, this kid. I mean,
Josh Iwanchina, the rookie.
Wow.
105-yard kickoff return touchdown after the Rebels had taken their first lead of the game. Well, forget that.
So much for Mighty Mo.
Wow. Yeah, you could not have a more immediate turn of momentum than that.
Well, you know what, Dom? Everybody wanted a close game, and that's what they got. And it's going end to end right now. And
you can see Iwanchina getting all sorts of love on the sidelines from his group. And I mean, you talk about a team so loaded with veterans it's fifth-year guys, it's fourth-year guys doing everything. Well, Josh Ewan-Chin is in his first year out of Saskatoon and making an impact here. His second touchdown of the day.
That's what championship football is supposed to be like. You know, I think a lot of people thought the Hilltops, I think even including myself, that they would run the ball down West Shore's throat. But, you know, you got to give credit where credit due is, and West Shore's done a great job staying in this football game.
High, short bloop kick. And the Rebels were able to field it successfully, and they'll start from their own 40-yard line. Just incredible from Ewan-Chin. And as much as that was a great return, I think you're right, Les. It did feel like maybe a little blown kick coverage because it seemed too easy.
Yeah. Hey, how'd you like to be under those kicks, like coming down? Like you're watching the ball fall from the sky and you're wondering, are you going to get your head torn off? That's got to be the toughest thing in the world is catch those big bloop kicks. Got to get a good job.
I was not a fan of special teams when I played junior football in any way.
No.
Offensive linemen don't mix with the special teams too well. So McKinnon back to work. Hands it to Lyles. Lyles with a big hole. Breaks the tackle. He's into the secondary. Oh, and a potentially huge play-saving tackle there from Tom Schnitzler. And Lyles was getting ready to break a big one there.
You know what? Lyles has got as good an eyesight. He runs with his eyes as good as any back I've seen. He just picks and chooses his holes.
So McKinnon on 1st and 10 near the midfield stripe as you got to look at that last run and look at him running with his eyes, like you say, Les, finding the seams. The Rebels here trying to make it back-to-back successful drives. McKinnon flushed. Got to pull this down, and he'll be stopped as he had nothing to look at there. Dylan Buckle, the first Hilltop on the scene.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody. I seen a couple of Rebels coming across the middle were waving for the ball, and he just didn't spot him and tucked the ball in. You know what? He is such a big guy that even when he gets in trouble, he can stretch it for 4 or 5 yards. And
you can see him towering above the huddle, even from his rather large offensive line in front of him as well. Rebels need about 7 for a first down as they just nose into Hilltop territory here. 3 wide receivers top side. McKinnon shotgun set, 1 back behind him. He throws, looking for a man up the seam, and that's going to fall incomplete. There is a flag down on the far side of the field. That was intended for Blake. That's a flag in the area of lining up offside. Well, it's against the offense, though.
Against the offense, yeah. That was good coverage by the Hilltops there. It was getting close to screening or pass interference. I thought the flag was going to come out, but you know what? The refs let them play. That's what we want.
Yeah, we saw very, very few penalties in that first half of play. 7 for the Rebels for 40 yards. The Hilltops only had 1 for 15 in the first half of this football game. That penalty there was declined, so it'll be a punt for Kent Hicks. And Ewan-Chin is not back to return this punt, as we just saw him take a kickoff back to the house. This is a good kick. Going to be fielded by Turple. He weaves through the coverage and will be pulled down about the 30-yard line, and there's another flag down. And you go back to that Ewan-Chin, a touchdown return, and that's one thing that stood out to me in my years of watching junior football. And I don't know what it is or why, but Prairie teams compared to BC teams seem like they are head and shoulders ahead in special teams play. The structure, the discipline, to their lanes, to their systems. I don't know what it is, but it seems like in these interconference games, the special teams battle always is won by the Prairie team.
Somebody said to me last night, we were talking about special teams in the BCFC, there's always 1 or 2 big plays a game. And they say in the Prairies, the special teams, they really focus on them, and they do a great job.
Well, they did a great job blocking for Ewan-Chin.
Yeah.
As now Anderchuk goes to work for the first time in the second half. Huge hole for Fisher. Gets a block. He's up the sideline. He's going to step out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
That was a great block
What a
by
hole.
a big hole, and a better play by Ryan Turple not to take a clipping penalty on there. He held up just enough, just got his hands on his man, and we were talking about the penalties earlier, one for 15 yards for West Shore. When they played in Kelowna, they had like 20 yards in penalties, 25 yards in penalties. Very disciplined team, don't make a lot of mistakes, and don't take a lot of dumb penalties.
First down. They'll sweep it to Fisher, right side. Again, a big gain. Again, a first down. And Logan Fisher had 111 yards rushing in the first half alone.
Well, you know, on that particular play, when Logan Fisher gets a chance and he gets in the open field, he doesn't wait for somebody to tackle him. He takes the tackler on.
Yeah.
He's a very aggressive running back. He makes contact in the open field rather than somebody making contact with him.
First down again from the 40 now. Try one up the middle, and that's a short gainer.
Jeremy Druin did a nice job there and plugged that hole. That's what you need is your inside, your tackles right now need to really step up and take away those lanes from Fisher.
2nd and 9. Under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hilltops lead by 4 points. Rebels show 4-man on the line. They'll come with base pressure. Anderchuk the keeper again. And again it's a first down. Second time in the game we've seen that play. Not known for his footwork, but Anderchuk there with a nice first down.
Yeah, just a little look off and takes the ball and turns it up and runs up the field. It's been a good steady play for him all game.
Hilltops clasping hands in that huddle as they've been doing all day long. Sign of unity, also a way I think to get everyone to focus on each other and what the play call is. Fisher on the sweep, great blocking, great gain. He's got a huge hole and only green space in front of him. One man to beat, he beats him. Touchdown Fisher, but there is a flag down back at the 45-yard line.
There was the defensive halfback for West Shore tried to fill the gap and he just got dragged down, which opened up the lane for Fisher, and I think this one's coming back.
This penalty happened right about here.
Right there.
And indeed, the flag flies in, so that's going to negate a 55-yard touchdown run from Logan Fisher. As the referees now will probably be trying to figure out if this happened. Oh, it's a clipping call. Trying to figure out if this penalty happened after yards were gained or not. So whether they give him credit for a first down here or not, we'll see.
Man, there's been, big plays, big turnovers, big penalties. That was so far in the game, there's been nothing bigger than this one right here.
And before yards were gained. Wow. It's going to be 1st and 20 now.
Wow.
That's a very big penalty instead of a 55-yard touchdown run. Yeah, you talk about big plays, Les. Back in the first quarter with 28 seconds left in it, Byron McKinnon, a pick 6 to the house off the defensive line, no less. Then we saw not long ago a 105-yard kickoff return for a touchdown from Josh Iwanchina. We've seen penalties like that one take a touchdown off the board. We've seen 2 turnovers inside end zones in this game. Plenty of drama. And this Canadian Bowl with the ultimate prize in junior football on the line. Anderchuk hands it. Here's Iwanchina, the rookie. Takes a stiff hit there. It's actually 1st and 25.
Yeah.
Gets about 7 back.
Macumbo came up again and makes the big lick on him. And Iwanchina is a good little player, hey? For an 18-year-old player, he's strong and he's quick. And he's a good sub for to give what's his name a breather.
Fisher, yeah.
Give Fisher a breather every now and then.
Always nice when your second back can come in and make plays. Iwanchina's got 2 touchdowns in this game. A 9-yard touchdown run, a 105-yard kickoff return. Anderchuk on 2nd and very long here after a penalty. Slings it for Mike, and they're going to say that's a catch.
Well, we'll see on the replay. Mike
The fans are not happy.
Mike believed he caught it.
Sam Mike
He was
certainly
selling
sold that catch. You can see the fans all offering their opinion here. I don't know if we'll get a great look from this angle. Let's see.
Big catch from Mike.
He did catch that.
Got his hands under
He
it.
kept it off the turf. So from 1st and 25, it's now 3rd and less than 1. And wouldn't this be a massive conversion if the Hilltops can do it here? They're going to go for it. Looked like a little false start, but the play is good. Ewan Chinna, the short run. It's all going to depend on the spot. It is razor close.
It is.
We're looking right down that line to gain. He needed to get the ball over the 45, and he did. Yeah, that's a good spot.
I think he's got the first down. Well, it's interesting how Saskatoon took a little jab step, and the whole West Shore D-line stood up, and that was just enough for their O-line to get underneath them and get the surge that they needed.
Yeah, they had the Hilltops, someone in the backfield there motioned up and sort of threw off the timing of the Rebel defense.
It looks like he's got the first down.
That spot is actually shy of where he gained, but he still gets it anyways. So it is a fresh set of downs, and what a conversion there. The Rebels had to feel pretty good facing 1st and 25.
And they just, you know what, they just, Mike just sat on the sideline. It's funny how they just spread the whole defense out, and he just jogged down the field and stood on the sideline.
Right at the sticks, too.
Yeah.
Fresh set of downs from the Rebel 45-yard line. Anderchuk calls the signals. They'll pitch it to their bell cow back, Logan Fisher, and he'll get about 5. Again, I marvel at the speed and tenacity that he hits the line of scrimmage with.
Well, like we said earlier, like he gets his pads north and south. And
he's inviting contact, isn't he?
He loves it, and he takes it on. He's every coach's dream for a running back.
Logan Fisher's got to be getting close to 200 yards rushing in this football game. He'll stand out in the slot position here on 2nd and 5. Anderchuk, another QB keeper. This one not as successful, and he'll be gobbled up through the middle by the West Shore defense. Matt Pastro in the area to end that play. And for Pastro, the second-year man out of Belmont Secondary, a local Victoria boy, he makes a big play there.
Yeah, they've run that play probably a half a dozen times now, and they finally figured it out on that particular
First
play.
time the Rebels have stopped it today.
Yeah, they knew it was coming this time.
Look inside and find program number
So this Hilltop drive that started way back in their own end about 5 minutes ago on the clock is now going to end with a punt. Maybe. Will we see any trickery here? Creative formation work going on from the Hilltops here. And they're going to run. Looked like it was supposed to be a fake. What a heads-up play there. And now a flag comes out, and they're going to blow this play dead. What a bizarre sequence of events.
Well, they tried to fake it.
Looked like it was supposed to be a direct snap to the up back, but
he didn't look like he knew it was coming.
No. The up back didn't look for the ball at all here. Wow. And that is an incredibly heads-up play by Des Vesey, the punter, to kick that ball off the turf like that and get it out of there.
No question.
We'll see what the ruling is here from the officials.
So it looks like Saskatoon's offense, they had too many players.
Wow. Too many men on the field against the Rebels. Unbelievable. Oh, a monumentally costly penalty there. And it's a first down for the Hilltops.
That stings.
Oh, does that ever.
In a game like this.
Wow. This drive improbably keeps going. They'll hand it to Fisher. He'll be hit immediately and stopped. This drive has faced a 1st and 25 converted. They were supposed to be off the field on a botched fake punt. They get a penalty and a first down. This is improbable stuff here.
Yeah, not good timing at this point in the game. That was for somebody to be on the field. Somebody obviously went off hurt and didn't tell him that he was going back on. They had an extra guy out there.
2nd and about 8. Anderchuk, 3-step drop. Throws it. He's got a man wide open. It's Turple. And he'll be hauled down at about the 5-yard line. Turple was wide open as he was working on Eric Williams over there.
Andrew Chuck just a 5-7 step drop and just turned and threw a laser beam. And that's the one thing, again, as I said earlier, that Saskatoon really spreads that field out, hey? Opens up a lot of different lanes, and when he steps into it, he lets her go.
First and goal, 6-yard line. Hilltops have turned the ball over twice inside the Rebels' end zone in this game. Can they cash in here? Anderchuk throws, touchdown Fisher. Hilltops extend the lead on an improbable scoring drive.
How do you stop that? Fisher comes out of the backfield and it's just 1-2 and the ball's gone.
There's not much you can do to defend this other than maybe get a hard jam on him at the line.
Yeah.
When a guy with that kind of speed breaks off into the flat like that, what do you do?
That's something that they work time and time again, on their short yardage and goal line, that they practice over and over and over, because it's 1-2 and the ball's gone.
Extra point is through, but there is a flag down here. Extra point would make this a 30-19 game. And indeed it is.
30-19, and not only that, the Hilltops get the wind at their back in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
So it's going to be got 1 minute and 6 left for the West Shore Rebels to do something with the wind a little bit here. Let's see if they can at least get some field position and not make any mistakes at this point in time, because right now for West Shore it's crucial that they don't make any mistakes.
Second touchdown of the game from that combination. Jared Anderchuk hooking up with his fourth-year back Logan Fisher, as those two have been in sync all day. They had a touchdown pass on the first drive of the game, and they get one there from 6 yards out. Fisher has been a focal point, to say the least, in this game. He's got to be over or nearing 200 yards of all-purpose offense. He's got 2 scores to his credit as well, as Lyles fields this short kick. And he'll be stopped. And again, special teams, there is nowhere to go.
You know what? As he kicked that ball, and I seen Lyles coming underneath, and I'm thinking back to our league. Every time he touched the ball in a kickoff, he did something with it, and I'm thinking to myself, that's the last guy I want to kick the ball to. But great job by the Hilltop special teams to come down and wrap him up.
Lyles took the opening kickoff of the semifinal game against the Raiders, 100-plus yards for an electrifying touchdown that really set the tone of that football game. So far today, the blue and gold have had the number of the man wearing 22 for the red and white, as he gets a nice gain there. And for me, Les, as we near the final 30 seconds of this third quarter, Rebels down by 11, it's going to be on Jamel Lyles whether the Rebels get back in this football game or not. Because if he has a huge fourth quarter, they've got a chance. They're right in it, but if they can't get him going, I don't like their chances.
Well, I've seen all this year, whenever they were in a tight game, and they were in a lot of tight games where they had to scratch and claw to win that game, and it came down to the last few minutes of every quarter, fourth quarter, and it was the Jamal Lyles show. They give him a ball, handoff right, handoff left, and you couldn't stop them. They got stronger as the game went along. So we'll see if they can match those performances.
The Rebels were losing to the VI Raiders in the semifinal, and it was a 90 seconds left in the game touchdown drive by the Rebels, capped off by Jamel Lyles rushing into the end zone, that propelled them on to the final against the Sun. And against the Sun, Lyles had a huge day as well. So as he goes, so does this Rebel offense, really. Late stages, third quarter, they'll hand it to Lyles, and he has nothing. Stays on his feet to at least make it a positive play, but
yeah, he obviously didn't like something right at the line of scrimmage. He hit the brakes and just spun out of it.
Second down, Rebels.
Well, looking at the rear end of his offensive lineman, that's probably what he didn't like.
Yeah.
And he's pulled
he still
down.
got 4 yards. So that puts them in the situation they could still run the ball or throw the ball. Are you in third down territory yet?
This will be the last play of the third quarter, pending a penalty. McKinnon will throw. He's got it, and it's a first down as he connects with Pinto. And Nathaniel Pinto moves the sticks.
Nathaniel Pinto, I thought, would be more of, at this point in the game, more of an impact. And again, we still got a quarter to go, but he's the guy that kind of sneaks up on you and bites you in the ankle when you least expect it, you know. And they need a play out of him. They need a play out of besides Lyles. They need some of their other guys to make a big play, and they got lots of time at this point in the game.
Well, that'll do it for the third quarter. They'll flip sides of the field. Rebels will drive right to left on your computer screens in this fourth quarter. Dominic Abassi, Les Weiss by my side, Ryan Waters down at field level. Thanks for joining us here on the broadcast, live streaming with Sports Canada TV. The CJFL Canadian Bowl Championship game. The Hilltops, as we have movement here, looking for a three-peat, looking for their 6th Canadian Bowl in the last 7 years and their 10th in the last 16. What will be their 19th franchise title?
It almost sounds not fair.
It doesn't it? Doesn't it, though? It almost sounds made up, really. But the way that they've dominated this Canadian Junior Football League is stunning, to say the least.
And when you look at them, like, they're not a big team. You know, they're just, you know, not big guys, but they're sure well coached. Well coached,
athletic, smart. You can see the savvy of this group from all the way up here in the broadcast booth. Delay handoff, and a great setup on that play, and Lyles has a near first down run on 1st and 15. And what patience displayed here.
That's the first time they've ran that play all day. They've been saving that one.
A long delay.
Yeah, really well executed play.
Ben Kick running headlong into Lyles at the end of that play. Ben Kick's had a good game for the Hilltops. We haven't talked too much about Cameron Schnitzler, actually, who is an All-Canadian for the Hilltops at the linebacker position, but Ben Kick has been more notable so far today. 2nd down and short, and the Rebels will move the sticks.
That was a good hard run by Lyles. He stepped up on that one. Like that, he got delivered a couple big blows and just brushed him off and kept his feet going for the first down.
Hilltops led this football game 16-12 at the half. The Rebels came out, drove the field, scored a touchdown, took their first lead of the game. On the ensuing kickoff, Josh Iwanchina took it back 105 yards for a score. The Hilltops followed that up with a hard-earned and long touchdown drive. And now the Rebels trying to answer, but they're going to be backed up here as they don't get this play off. It's either false start or delay a game.
No, it's I think it was procedure on the Rebels. They're trying to draw them offside by jumping at the line of scrimmage, trying to draw them. But I don't know if the center is not snapping the ball, if they're getting any movement out there from Saskatoon, but didn't work on that particular play.
Rebels center Christian Kraus was an All-Canadian, and he's in his first year out of Mount Doug. Another Mount Doug grad on this team, Ashton McKinnon, also out of Mount Doug, one of the premier high school football programs in all of British Columbia here on the South Island. Here's a play-action pass, intercepted right in the hands of Giddings. He's going to run this one back. He's only got 2 men to beat. Giddings brought down in Rebel territory. Jared Giddings, the first turnover of the day for the Hilltops, and it could not have come at a bigger time.
Giddings was just sitting there, waiting for that ball to be released, and just stepped in between him and the receiver.
Yeah, I don't know, McKinnon not much to like about that spot to put the ball.
Well, McKinnon was looking at him the whole way down the field. They were just in a cover 3, and he was just sitting back there waiting for that ball to be thrown.
So the pick will end a dangerous-looking drive as Fisher is stopped for no gain
by Pastro. A nice tackle by Matt Pastro on that play.
And we got 12 minutes left to go here. You start to have the conversation, could Logan Fisher be the Canadian Bowl MVP 2 years in a row? I wouldn't vote against him right now.
No.
I couldn't think of anyone more deserving. I mean, Ewan Chinna has had a big impact too with 2 touchdowns and that kick return, but here is Fisher again. And he's got close to first down yardage, but I don't think it will be enough. Anderchuk showing his bench that it's about
2 or 3
2
yards. Yeah. Well, I'm going to put the ball. If I'm the Hilltops, I'm putting the ball in the hands of our best player, and he's our best player. At this point in the game, do you take a chance or try and pin West Shore deep? And that's what they're looking like they're going to do here at this point in time. Which is probably the smart thing.
Play, yeah.
You know,
you're up by 11 points. The Rebels need 2 scores no matter what. So make them use the clock. Make them earn that field and drive into the teeth of the wind, although the wind is a little calm here.
He's just telling the punter's just telling 29. I wonder if they're going to snap it direct to him this time.
That direct snap play did not look very good last time, although it ended in a first down because the Rebels had too many players on the field. And look at that, the Hilltops were going to go for it again.
Yeah, and they...
and look at Tom Sargent. He just kicked his play calling sheet about halfway onto the field. He's livid. Oh, Tom Sargent is hot.
Well, I think West Shore was ready for that one. They knew it was coming. Like, that's a perfect spot to fake a punt if you're going to.
Tom Sargent is hot at the Hilltop sideline about that botched.
Who's he hot at? The official? Or
I think he's probably a little cheesed at his special teams unit there.
Yeah.
Because the official, I mean, that was the right call. It was definitely a false start, but...
That would have won a hat tossing contest. He threw his hat about 30 yards.
Yeah. Well, not a great kick there by Vesey, but it's going to be effective. Forces Lyles all the way back to his 10, and he'll be gobbled up there. So after all that, the Hilltops have to feel pretty good. They're going to force the Rebels to start deep in their own end.
Well, still 11 minutes left in this game, and the thing right now that West Shore has to make sure that they do is they don't make, try and get it all back on one play. Just drive the ball down methodically down the field here and see if they get some points out of this drive.
If you are interested in being a Billet family and help us give our young men a strong future, please visit.
Long field in front of Ashton McKinnon and his group here, the Victoria native playing in a Canadian Bowl in front of his hometown fans. It'll be a special day for him, to say the least, but it's only going to be an amazing memory if he can find a way to launch a big comeback here.
Yeah, just a little out route to
Pinto.
To Pinto, thank you. And that's what they have to do right now. They got to take what Saskatoon's given them a little bit at a time.
You'll remember last two, when they started going to those quick little bubble screens to Trey Campbell late in the first half, that really got this offense moving a bit for West Shore. Lyles is lined up in the slot here. Trey Campbell is the deep back. McKinnon is going to throw. Over the middle, he's got a man, and that is a nice pass and catch play on the money for Nate Skeet.
Yeah, just a little dig route. Nate runs down the field and turns in the middle of the zone there and makes a nice catch, looks the ball right into the hands. And
the Rebels starting to put the ball in the hands of their quarterback a bit here. And Lyles again is going to come out and line up as a slot. You see Skeet, and there's Lyles behind him, lined up in the slot position. They'll hand it to Campbell, and he won't have much. Short gain for Trey Campbell. The change of pace back for the Rebels. Their second running back had almost 600 yards rushing this season.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get a different look and see what they're going to get from out of Saskatoon's defense when they move Lyles outside, because right now they're really keen on him and inside.
2nd and 5. Big second down here as we're inside 10 minutes left to go in this football game. Hard count. Nobody flinched. Here's Campbell. Tom Schnitzler, big game for him. And, I say Cam Schnitzler, he's Canadian Bowl, all-Canadian linebacker. It's his cousin Tom up front who's been huge today.
Yeah, well, they squeezed that down real good. Hey, he was going to try and take it up inside and then was forced to bounce it outside. But yeah, Schnitzler stepped up there and did a good job squeezing that play.
Herman and Schnitzler on that Hilltop defensive line have been big today. There you see Kleider back deep to return this punt. Kent Hicks stands about his own 35, and he's going to pass. It's a fake punt, and it's complete, and it's a first down. The fake punt, Kent Hicks to Devin Bell, and the Rebels catch the Hilltops and get a first down into Hilltop territory.
It was right back at you.
Wow.
Right back at you. Like that maybe, you wouldn't expect it that far inside your own zone, but was well executed by the Rebels.
What can't Ken Hicks do? He can punt, he can play D-line, and apparently he can pass.
Throw as well.
So a fake punt extends this pivotal drive for the Rebels. Flags fly as this one will go incomplete.
Yeah, Pinto was about 4 yards downfield across the line of scrimmage before that was snapped.
Rebels were the underdogs coming to this game. I think that's fair to say. As you get a look here again at this fake punt. Look at Kent Hicks. That's a beautiful pass.
Nice form.
To Devin Bell, and gets it over the midfield stripe. Just a huge play. But it's only a huge play if the Rebels get points on this drive. And they're going to be backed up. Well, they'll decline the penalty, so 2nd and 10 here. The Rebels were the underdogs coming into this game. Whenever you're facing the 2-time defending champions, that's going to be the case. And I love what J.C. Boyce did. Don't fight it. He played into it. I read this quote from the Star Phoenix, which is the newspaper that covers the Hilltops heavily in Saskatoon. This is a direct quote from J.C. Boyce to the Hilltops newspaper. Man, honestly, I'm so new to this Canadian football 12-man, funny motion, waggle thing. I don't even know how this team matches up. That's what J.C. Boyce tells the Hilltops media in Saskatoon. And I had a chuckle when I read that because J.C. Boyce is his 2nd year in the CJFL. He's an American guy, an American coach, but I thought that was well played.
Very well said.
And he's trying to do there, just
absolutely
play into the underdog. Yeah, we got no chance. We'll be lucky if we stay in the game.
I heard Sarge last night at the banquet telling the Victoria guys, or West Shore guys, same thing.
2nd and 10. McKinnon with time, but he doesn't get much of a pass off. Pinto got grabbed by Schnitzler, and he's appealing for a call. As you see Pinto saying, look at my shoulder pad. It's out of my jersey, but
I guess the question would have been catchable, but they definitely, he knew he was losing Pinto
you'll see
underneath.
It on the bottom of your screen here.
He turned him right around, number 50.
Schnitzler
yeah.
Gives a yank.
They got away with one there.
But you're right, is that catchable? I don't know, but a break for the Hilltops defense. When you're an all-Canadian linebacker, sometimes the calls go your way. The 4th-year man out of Saskatoon, Cam Schnitzler. So the Rebels will be forced to punt as Kent Hicks angles this one into the Hilltop bench.
Good kick.
Saskatoon lost to the Okanagan Sun in the 2000 Canadian Bowl in Kelowna. Since then, against BC teams, including this year's win over the Sun, they are 9-1. Their only loss coming in 2008 in the Gordie Howe Bowl against the VI Raiders in the Intergold game, a day when Andrew Harris rushed for nearly 400 yards and single-handedly beat the Hilltops. Otherwise, Saskatoon would be 10-0 against BC teams since that 2000 Canadian Bowl loss.
Wow.
As Fisher rambles.
Not a bad stat.
Not bad. Just another to sort of add to that aura of dominance that surrounds this Hilltop organization.
Well, they're usually 9-1 every year anyhow, whether it be in their league or against the BCFC. I mean, you can't deny it. They're a great team.
First time ever this year, an interconference regular season game. The Rifles came from Winnipeg to visit the Huskers in Chilliwack, and the Hilltops came from Saskatoon to play the Sun in Kelowna. And they blasted the Sun as Fisher gets a first down here. 58-2 in week 6 in September. The Hilltops came out and they took it to Okanagan. You're right, Les. You said this earlier. There had to be a feeling from Saskatoon of overconfidence, of saying, oh, come on, we've seen what BC's got to offer.
Well, you know what, and that's a challenge for the coaches that they have to overcome, and they have to convince their players that, you know what, guys, that was a bad game by the Okanagan. The West Shore is going to be a much better opponent, and we got to play tough.
5 minutes and change left to go as Fisher, right now, we could be watching the nails being pounded into the coffin. I know we got a lot of time here, but if Logan Fisher is able to continue to run the ball like this, that clock is going to keep on rolling.
Well, that's what the coaching staff is right now. Let's just pound it out, ground and pound right now, and hang on this football and not make any mistakes.
Second and about 3. Rebels need a stop. Fisher won't let him have it. It's a first down. Look at him grinding for yards.
He just ran right through the arm tackle of Bryce Mosley on that particular play. He had a lined up on him, and he just broke the tackle and turned it into a nice first down.
Wow. I could not be more impressed with Logan Fisher today.
And when you're a defense, like you're on the defensive side of the ball, and you're starting to suck wind right now, and you're all trying to you start doing everybody else's job, and your coaches are telling you just do your job, and hopefully they get a break.
First down inside the Rebel 50-yard line. Here's Ewan Chinna, and he's got a short gain. 4.5 minutes left to go. The Hilltops have really controlled the clock in the second half as well. And I think about their scoring drive that put them up by 11, that ended with that Anderchuk to Fisher 6-yard touchdown pass.
Right. That
drive, I don't have the exact time, but at least 6 minutes of clock time went off in the third quarter because of that drive.
Well, this game's almost much like the game against the Okanagan Sun last year in Saskatoon, where the Sun were in the game, and Sask came out in the second half, made a few adjustments, stopped making mistakes, and just pulled away in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's a great point too, Les. 3 turnovers for the Hilltops in the first half, leading. Here's Anderchuk looking for Price over the seam. He's got it. Touchdown, Hilltops.
Wow.
And you might want to start asking about ring sizes for the blue and gold. A huge play, Anderchuk to Price, and that could be it.
That hurt. You know what, as a coach, and you teach your receivers how to catch a football and how to look it into your hands, he just laid it up there, and you watch him run under it. It's almost over the shoulder.
That is
just
a great
focused
catch.
On right in the hands. Watch the ball right into his hand. That's how it's done.
Anderchuk's 3rd touchdown pass of the game in his last ever junior football game, playing in his 4th Canadian Bowl. He's never lost a playoff game as a starter.
Wow.
Jared Anderchuk.
Well, that's what you want. Yeah, that's what you want from your quarterback. You want a quarterback that's not only a great athlete, he's a great leader, and from what everybody tells me, he's a great person. So, and that's
MVP chant comes up from the
right now
Hilltop fans.
Who would it be?
Of this
Fisher
game,
or Anderchuk?
I like Fisher. I know that Anderchuk's got 3 touchdown passes, but 2 of those were very short passes to Fisher.
Right.
For me, it's Fisher, and Ewan Chin is in the conversation because of the timing of his kick return touchdown.
That was huge.
That was absolutely massive. But, certainly Anderchuk could be in the conversation, as Jared Anderchuk was the only Hilltop player, and you know that this stuck in their side a bit. They're the first place team in the Prairies. They win their conference. They get 1 major award winner. That's it. It was Jared Anderchuk who was the MVP of the Prairie Football Conference this season.
We'll get back to that in a second.
Lyles is going to bring this kick back. He needs a big play here. He's not going to get a massive one as he gets up to the 35.
I was going to say, it's a good point. When you only have one player that really gets the recognition in that PFC, you've got something to prove.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Coach Sargent uses that as motivation against the guys. The same old thing. He never wins the Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
They don't win a lot of awards. They just win championships. And if you're a coach, that's what you want to sell.
Yeah.
It's about the team.
I mean, you could put the letter T on the Coach of the Year award pretty much every year. McKinnon, pump fake. Looking for Melcher. That's a great catch. Kane Melcher deep into Hilltop territory.
I was going to say earlier that they need a play out of that kid, and he during the year he was always stepped up and made those big plays, and it's been maybe a little bit overdue, but that was a great catch.
Kane Melcher over 400 yards receiving on the regular season. Makes a mark on this game there. McKinnon, a play action for Pinto over the middle, and he's down to the 12-yard line. And the Rebels must score, obviously, on this drive, as now we will get the play blown down for the 3-minute warning. Hilltops lead 37-19.
And you know, the Hilltops right now are not playing anything different than they normally play. They play that cover 3, and you gotta put the ball right in the right spot all the time, because they just don't take a lot of chances. Right now, Victoria or West Shore again's moving the ball down the field, and they're finding those little lanes.
They force their opponent to be patient and earn it. So the clock ran a little bit too far. So they'll roll 5 seconds back up on the clock here. Even if the Rebels are able to score here, they're still going to be very hard pressed. Hilltops bring the blitz on first down. Lyles is going to be gobbled up.
They brought the blitz on that time, and Miles could have stepped it inside a little quicker and would have probably walked into the end zone, but they did a good job squeezing it down there again as well by Ben Kick.
And Ben Kick right in there, same with Cody Peters. Third year out of Saskatoon, 28 total tackles in the regular season for Ben Kick. He's got to have 10 here today at least. Second down from the 10. Rebels can get a first down without scoring here. And now they're going to get backed up.
You could see that one coming.
Yeah.
I think the fans are getting on McKinnon a little bit about audibling there.
Well, certainly time is of the essence, but we've seen that all day from West Shore. They've been changing the play at the line, trying to catch the Hilltops with a bit of early motion, and then they change the play, but it's tough on the Hoggies. You got to hold the water for so long.
That's right.
So they'll back it up, second and about 13 from the 15-yard line. Again, changing the play. Hilltops blitz. They'll throw it to Pinto. He's got it, but he's going to be tackled down. Is he? Yeah, they're going to rule him down at the 5-yard line. So the Rebels must go for it here.
Yeah, he's a little bit short there. He's about 2 yards short.
See the replay. Yeah, he was down.
I thought he dropped the ball.
Third down, it looks like there's still a chance to get a first down.
Rebels can get a first down without scoring. They can get to about the 2 and still get a first down. Third down.
West Shore's got to get in and out of this huddle.
Yeah, not a lot of urgency.
No.
And the amount of time they're taking at the line of scrimmage, too. Keeper, McKinnon, driving. He won't get in, but it will be a first down.
And now they got to get to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball here.
Yeah. So it's a first down, but not a touchdown. The ball spotted right outside the goal line. They'll back it up to the 1. Rebels do hurry up here. McKinnon up and over. Flag comes out. He didn't get in, and now he's down. He got folded up, all sorts of ugly, trying to go over the top.
I think it was almost like he got bent in two.
Yeah, he's hurt. This does not look like it felt good. He tries to go up, and then, ooh.
His legs got bent underneath him, his knee.
Oh, boy. You are not supposed to bend that way. Cam Schnitzler gets a face masking penalty, but that really will be inconsequential. as McKinnon now is down.
I think Devin Hallams comes into the game at this point. Just warming up on the sideline as quick as he possibly could.
Well, it won't really matter so much for this drive because you could put Jamel Lyles at quarterback from here, really, and
Right.
probably pound it in. But even if West Shore scores here, they're still going to be down. And now you're potentially without your starting quarterback, your all-star quarterback, as you try and lead a comeback effort.
And you got to score 2. If they score here, they got to score 2 more times.
That's right. Even if they put up 8 here, they're still going to be down by 10. And
McKinnon, everyone.
McKinnon gets a nice hand from the crowd, and he won't be able to get off the field under his own power. And I'm no doctor, but I'll be shocked if we see number 13 again today.
If you're gonna, I mean, what a rotten time to get hurt right at the end of the game. I mean,
So it
he had
is
a great season, and
Devin Hallams
Devin
comes in.
Hallams, yeah.
I've been down here calling West Shore games for 3 weeks now. Haven't talked about Devin Hallams once. We haven't needed to, but this is the great unknown for the Rebels here. So McKinnon gets off to his bench with a lot of help. And Devin Hallams takes over this offense down by 18 points, and he's going to plunge it in for 1 yard. So it is a touchdown that the Rebels had to have.
So basically, at this point in time, it looks like they're going to go for 2 points, which will put them bound by 10. They had 10 points, onside kick, I guess is what you hope.
That's the recipe.
What's the odds?
I mean, I wouldn't bet on it. How about that?
No.
Under 2 minutes to go. Rebels will go for 2 with their backup quarterback leading the offense here. Going to run an option play, and Hallams is not going to get anywhere near the end zone. So 37-25 will remain the score. Heading on to what I would have to figure will be an onside kick attempt.
All righty, fans, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Get your 50-50 tickets out.
Somebody was just complaining they hadn't called the 50-50.
They're just calling it. This is probably a lot of money here. $2,071 is the 50-50 prize here today. And
Usually the 50-50 mirrors what's in the stands. Eh?
yeah, you're
So
right.
There's probably a couple thousand people here today.
Yeah, we don't have an official attendance count, but it's full. And yeah, there's got to be north of 2,000 people here today. Really,
Yep.
It's been a great day for junior football here, Les.
Nobody's got a reason to complain about the game, and West Shore's played a great game.
So they'll go onside here, you'd have to think for sure. Kyle Clark squibs it, but well handled by Logan Fisher.
Done it all today.
He really has. There's no doubt about it. Fisher had 209 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns in last year's Canadian Bowl, the win over the Sun. He was the MVP of that game. Today, I don't have the second half stats, but he's got to be north of 200 yards just on the ground alone. He's got 2 receiving touchdowns. He has really done everything for the Hilltops today. Got a little bit of help from his backup, Josh Iwanchuna. And Jared Andertruck has done a great job. The Hilltop defense has really negated the impact of Jamel Lyles.
I think that's been the big difference today, is keeping Jamal Lyles out of the game. And every coach tries to do it, and the Hilltops defensive coaches did a great job game planning for Lyles, because, I mean, you give him the little bit we did see of him today. When he does get in that secondary, he's deadly.
And there you see it.
And you know what? Their DBs got a hold of him, and they hung on to the rest of the troops. Came there and didn't let him break that big play that they really, really needed.
There you saw it. The Canadian Bowl has been brought out to field level. It's the prize up for grabs today.
Taking on their charter flight home. Apparently they came over on a charter.
They did, that's right. They flew in Friday morning. The Hilltops flew out of Saskatoon on a charter plane, traveled as a group. I thought that was a little late to be coming out. Thought maybe they'd come out on a Thursday, but whatever they did, it was the right choice. Here's Fisher, and
he's short.
He is short. So the Rebels are going to force the Hilltops to punt the ball here with 1:51 left to go. And this Hilltop drive has the clock at the field here has stopped because the Rebels are taking a timeout. This drive only took 9 seconds off the clock.
Wow. Well, they called 2 timeouts. I think they're done with their timeouts.
Yeah,
that was it.
That's right. But mission accomplished for the Rebels.
Well, they can hope that maybe Lyles gets his hands on the ball here and makes something happen with it. You never know.
You certainly don't. Canadian football, it's the beauty of it.
I'm just looking over on the bench to see if McKinnon's walking around anywhere.
I mean, the way he went off, you can't imagine he'd be able to come back.
Well, hopefully for him it's nothing any serious when it comes to knees, especially at the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's right. You get hurt in November. It's going to start affecting you come training camp time still.
That's right.
Vesey gets the punt away. End over end, Lyles scoops it. He's trying to make something happen here. Well, that's a pretty good return, one of his best of the day. Jamel Lyles makes decent headway there, and it will not be Ashton McKinnon. It will be Devin Hallam's leading his offense onto the field here.
I think Saskatoon was involved in a game like this against the Thunder this year. They were down with about 1.5 minutes left, down 14 points, and came back and won the game. So,
well, the Hilltops won the semifinal game over the Thunder 25-24. Hallams chased out of the pocket by Herman, breaking tackles. Up the sideline, he's got a first down. As you get a little look at what Devin Hallams can bring to the offense.
Nice run by Hallams.
He's a big dude.
He is.
He's a tall quarterback too, and he's got pretty quick feet.
90 seconds to go. Hilltops lead by 12.
If you're Saskatoon right now, you got like a cover 4. You got everybody going deep, and you're going to give it to them underneath all day long.
Yeah, let Devin Hallams run to the end zone like that.
Yeah.
Still won't hurt you. Here's Melcher, incomplete. On first down, they try to pass it to Kane Melcher, and slips through his hands. And Tom Sargent said to our Ryan Waters at halftime, we're not going to change anything. We're just going to stop making mistakes. That's exactly what they did, and that's been the difference in this football game. Those 3 turnovers in the first half were really what buoyed the Rebels throughout this football game. And once the Hilltops stopped turning the ball over, well, that made life real tough on West Shore. Here's Lyles. He's broken through. Lyles up the sidelines. Slaps a tackler away as he steps out of bounds inside the 20. He electrifies the crowd here on a big gainer up the left sideline.
You know what? If I'm a coach, that's the one thing I'm proud about my team, is that they don't quit fighting. You fight to the end, you compete. And hats off to West Shore right now as they're competing, and they're going to give it everything they got.
Lyle's best run of the day. But it didn't come until the final 2 minutes. And his team already down by 12. Hilltops blitz, Hallams incomplete. And there you see.
I think somebody just got a piece of his arm as he threw the ball. Because Pinto was wide open sitting out in the flat there. Tried to get it to him, just wasn't able to get it out there.
You can't imagine that Devin Hallams, in his wildest dreams, pictured himself being in this football game today. Really. As you get a look at that Lyles run. And look at the way Lyles finishes this run on Vaz with authority. 2nd down and 10 to go. Hilltops, heavy pressure. Hallams gets away from it. Throws to the end zone. No, it's incomplete. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Pinto. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Oh, that's Yitna, excuse me.
Ihanza just went through his hands. That was a good job by Hallams to
he gets
avoid
away
the
from
rush.
the blitz.
Big 3rd down coming up.
I think he could have probably even ran that thing for the 1st down, but
Well, he had Ihanza.
the guy kind of handcuffed himself.
Hilltop fans get to their feet, chanting for their defense. 3rd down. The Rebels must score on this drive. Hallams throws. Incomplete. And that,
Pass intended for Blake.
That was a right read.
he was open.
He was open, dropped it right in that little soft spot.
Needed more on the throw, though.
Hearing footsteps. There's been a few today.
Yeah.
The guys just,
Well, you have to credit the defenses
Yeah.
there because they're imposing, and their opponents know if they're going to try and go over the middle,
you're going to pay for it.
You're going to certainly pay for it. So the Hilltops now, nothing to do but grind the final 62 seconds off of this clock. The Rebels have no timeouts. They will probably hand it to Fisher once and then take some knees would be my guess as Fisher
He
gets
never takes a
himself
play off.
Short
No.
run by Fisher.
You know, he plays hard. Every time he gets his hands on the ball,
I mean, they could put Ewan Chinna in the game right now, the backup running back. There's really no need to keep pounding Fisher, but
I think you owe it to him. You
Yeah.
know, this is his last 50 seconds of junior football. He's going to want to.
let him finish it.
Running backs
Anderchuk.
always want the ball.
Second and about 6. Fisher stopped, not enough for the 1st down.
Boy, that would have made things interesting if they did score on that drive. You know,
Would have set up quite the final minute. So close were the Rebels, but the Hilltops really have had an answer for all the adversity they faced today. I mean, you think back to the turnovers of the 1st half. They threw an interception in the Rebels' end zone. They threw a pick 6 on the next drive that tied this game up 7-7. But they immediately followed up that with a touchdown scoring drive. Then the Rebels score to open the 2nd half, and West Shore takes their first lead of the game, while the Hilltops immediately follow that up with 2 scoring drives, one a kickoff return and the next a touchdown drive. So you don't allow your opponents to fully seize the momentum, the sign of just a great football team.
well, you know that you go back to, was it Iochina on the kickoff return?
Iochina, yeah.
Iochina, that had to be the turning point in the game right
Yeah.
there, because at that time, West Shore had all the momentum. And they could have built off it because they just overran the play, came down too hard, too fast, didn't break down, and he picked a nice little seam and went the 100 yards.
So the Hilltops, I'm not sure whether they'll actually punt this or just try and run around. I guess they will kick it away.
Let's punt it away.
18 seconds left to go. Rebels can't get the block. Lyles will scoop it up. And we'll have a couple of last-ditch plays as Jamel Lyles jogs towards the sidelines, and you know he is frustrated. Wasn't able to impact this game perhaps the way he would have liked. An incredible season from Jamel Lyles, an All-Canadian, a record-breaking rushing year, but not able to be a massive factor in the biggest game of the year. And credit the Hilltops on their defensive strategy for that. Jeff Yassey and the defensive coordinator and their staff, as they just got Sarge with the Gatorade tub over there on that Hilltop sideline. They'll hand it to Lyles here. 2 seconds left. And we are looking at the last play of this season in the Canadian Junior Football League. Number 19.
You know
for the
what?
Saskatoon Hilltops.
And you know what? And kudos to the Hilltops. But the West Shore Rebels, I mean, they were 2-8 last year.
2-8 the last 3 years.
Yeah, come back and put together a team like this year is hats off to them and their organization.
Last play of the game. Hallams just throws it up. Knocked to the ground, and that'll do it. For the 3rd year in a row, for the 10th time in the last 16 years, the Saskatoon Hilltops are Canadian Bowl champions.
Well deserved. It was, you know what, for your national final, you know, it's always nice for the home team to win, but that was a great game. You know, no matter how you want to slice it, there was some mistakes on both parts, but overall, I think both teams played well. You know, and West Shore certainly doesn't have to hold their head low because they played a very good team from a very good conference. Whether they can build on this or whatever the case, but I think they represented the BCFC very well today.
And the dynasty just keeps on writing chapters for the 19th time in their franchise history. The Hilltops are Canadian champions. It really is incredible. And the streak of dominance continues for the PFC as well. The 7th straight year that a Prairie team has claimed the Canadian Bowl championship. The last BC team to win a Canadian Bowl, the 2008 and 2009 VI Raiders. But it's all about the blue and gold today as these teams now shake hands at midfield, and the fans give them a nice round of applause as well.
I think most of the people, most of the people stayed right to the end of this game. I mean, it was a great crowd, and they were thoroughly entertained this whole game. I don't think anybody will leave this park saying, you know what, that was a blowout, or I didn't get my money's worth. It was a very entertaining game.
The feeling I got talking to most people around the stands before the game was just, I just hope it's a close game, a really good game, an intense, well-fought football game. And really throughout the CJFL playoffs, we saw amazing football. The semifinal games in both leagues, so all 4 games, were decided by a combined 10 points. The two PFC semifinal games and the 2 BCFC semifinal games, 10 points combined.
Really?
There were single point games in the Prairies, and 8-point spread between the 2 games in BC. It was really incredible, the level of football that was displayed, I think, through the playoff run. But it is the Saskatoon Hilltops, your Canadian Bowl champions here at West Hills Stadium in Langford. But it's a great point, Les, that this Rebels franchise, they've been through so much since 2005. 3 straight 2-8 seasons. It looked like football in Victoria on the West Shore was not in a very good place.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
but they
West
bring in
Shore
Shane
Rebels.
Beatty this
Give
year.
them a hand.
They bring in JC Boyce. They bring in some top-tier talent out of the CIS, some Manitoba Bison guys. And look at the turnout here now. You can't tell me this isn't a football community after what they've witnessed this year. And today, over 2,000 people jammed in here to watch this football game. That's a huge positive.
Well, as an organization, and being involved in the game as long as I have, as an organization, you got to take this and build off it. And hopefully, a lot of these people will come back, I'm sure, and watch. And a lot of these people are probably first-time junior football, fans.
16 Canadian Bowl champions and completed the three-peat.
You hear Ryan Waters down on the field
some game awards, and then the
handing out the Players of the Game awards.
The Defensive Player of the Game, Larry Ruck, will present the trophy. from the Saskatoon Hilltops, number 44, Cody Peters.
Cody Peters, the defensive player of the game from the Hilltops.
Defensive player of the game.
And this is one I'm interested to see. Is it Logan Fisher? Is it Jared Andrechuk? Is it Josh Iwanchina for offensive player of the game? Now I'm interested to see, as you see Larry Ruck handing that over to Cody Peters.
I'll say any one of those three would be deserving. They
Peters,
were all good.
third-year man out of Saskatoon, had 49 total tackles in the regular season.
And the offensive player of the game, and
we'll see
Peter
here.
Delariva will present the trophy.
Peter Delariva down at field level to hand this out.
And the winner of the offensive player of the game is running back Logan Fisher.
Logan
from
Fisher.
the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Well, you know what? I don't know what Logan's career will hold for him, if this is the end of his football career or if he ends up playing university. But any university would be thrilled to have him in their lineup because he's, from what I understand, he's a quality guy, but he's a quality guy and he's a quality player.
Saskatoon native. Played his high school ball at Bethlehem for the second straight year. Logan Fisher is the Canadian Bowl MVP. You see Shane Beatty comes over to give him a special congratulations. And Shane Beatty, 2 years in a row, victimized by the Saskatoon Hilltops. And he knows too well about Logan Fisher and his abilities, as now the captains of the Hilltops.
They got lots of them.
Yeah.
Canadian Bowl trophy to the Saskatoon Hilltops.
They should be used to this by now in Saskatoon. Another season, another Canadian Bowl. It's incredible what this franchise has done. As Drake Unger carries that trophy back to his team. And the Canadian Bowl is blue and gold again.
Fans, thank you so much once again for coming to West Hill Stadium here in Langford. Thank you to the organizing committee and all the corporate partners. Thanks so much.
And it's going to be a hell of a charter plane ride back to Saskatoon, I'll tell you that.
I was going to say the trophy on the front of the plane.
Now, one of the main drawbacks of the Canadian Bowl is that it doesn't hold liquid very well. I'll tell you that. The bottom of that cup is not as solid as it looks. I'll tell you that.
You've been there.
In my experience,
Yeah.
It does not hold liquid very well, but they'll find a way, I'm sure. And it's actually quite neat, as you see the All-Canadian Herman get his hands on it. The underneath of that Canadian Bowl, you might be able to see it. You can see it there, is full
Names.
of writing and names. And the teams that win it, they take it home and they flip it upside down and they fill it with little notes or sayings or names and numbers. And it's incredible to see the years and the names. Jason Claremont's name is up inside there. I remember seeing that inside. It's quite an amazing piece of hardware.
My son's name's on there.
Is that right?
Yeah, my son from 2000. But, you're absolutely right. There's, it's interesting once you look inside it and you see all of the history.
How long this league goes back. That trophy.
106 years.
Wow.
I think it's 106 years old. The CJFL is older than the CFL.
Yeah, it is incredible.
So,
as you see them, the three-peat. The threes are up for the Hilltops as they'll head back from BC. Canadian Bowl champions yet again, as their friends and family now get a chance to flood onto the field and snap a shot of that iconic picture.
it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them made the trip.
Tons of blue and gold Topper supporters flooding onto the field now. It is a joyous occasion for them. It really is incredible. 10 times in the last 16 years, they've owned that trophy. The players of the game again. Cody Peters on the defensive side of the ball for the Hilltops. On the offensive side of the ball, Logan Fisher. And a quick recap of this game. Hilltops opening drive, drove the field. Logan Fisher catches a short touchdown pass from Jared Anderchuk. Hilltops leads 7-0. But then a couple of turnovers and a pick six by Byron McKinnon took it back 70 yards for a touchdown, tied this game up. Hilltops immediately answered that though. Josh Iwanchina, a 9-yard touchdown grab to put his team up in the lead. A couple of safeties were traded, and the Hilltops led 16-12 heading into the halftime break. The Rebels came out of halftime, and they looked fired up. They drove the field. Ashton McKinnon, a 1-yard touchdown plunge, gave the Rebels their first, and unfortunately for them, their only lead of the game, 19-16. The ensuing kickoff returned 105 yards for a score by Josh Iwanchina, and the rookie making that play less. To me, that was the play of the game. Because if the Hilltops don't score there, if they don't even get a good drive, the Rebels turn the ball over on downs and get the ball back after taking the lead, this could have been their game to take from that point.
Well, that's what I said earlier, is that in my mind was the turning point of the game. And Saskatoon, West Shore had the momentum. They just scored. And if they were able to hold them there and got the ball back, I think, who knows? Hindsight's 20/20. But there was a lot of big plays in this game and a lot of turning points in the game. And unfortunately, I think, and again, that enters a lot into the Hilltops. I mean, they could have, they made a lot of mistakes in the first half, and West Shore just really didn't take advantage of those mistakes as much as they could have. And you can call it experience, you can call it, coaching, depth, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, was kind of the final nail in the coffin for, I think, the West Shore Rebels.
After the Iwanchina touchdown return, the Hilltops scored again. Another Anderchuk to Fisher touchdown pass. The Rebels were able to add a score late on a 1-yard touchdown run, but really it was a 56-yard touchdown pass, Anderchuk to Jason Price, that really cemented this game away. 37-25. The final score, and the only thing left to do now for the Hilltops is to celebrate. Three-peat. 3 years in a row, 7 in a row for the Prairies. 6 of the last 7 and 10 of the last 16 belonging to the blue and gold. Numbers that bear repeating because they are just so astounding. And again, a congratulations to the West Shore Rebels on a fantastic season, doing the BC Conference proud, hosting a fantastic event here today as well. As you see JC Boyce answering some, I'm sure, tough questions to the local media down at field level. That's going to do it for us here on the broadcast. We'd like to thank all of our crew, fantastic crew we put together for the game here today, camera, production, the whole staff ready to go. Everyone did a great job. So thank you to our whole crew. Thank you to you for tuning in and watching this game with us as well. For Ryan Waters down at field level, for Les Weiss beside me in the broadcast booth, the Saskatoon Hilltops 37-25. They are Canadian Bowl champions yet again in 2016. I'm Dominic Abassi. Good evening from West Shore.